Hello, everyone. Welcome to 38 Podcast.
38 has been around for almost 40 years. We're originally from Brazil, but Texans at heart, headquartered here in Texas now. And we specialize in weapons training, in martial arts, and the lifestyle of the prepared.
At 38 Podcast, we're going to bring you real special guests.
So stay tuned, guys, for the next episode of 38 Podcast.
Right, Jason, my man, thank you so much for being here. We are, should I say, officially launching our podcast, 38 Podcast, first edition with you, my man.
Awesome. This is great. I'm glad to be here, be the first guest to help work out the kinks. So
it's true.
It's hard, right?
Oh
it's
my
very
God,
hard.
man. Yeah, I'll tell you this. We're gonna have very good conversations, and our audience will know better, better about you, about me, about everyone, right? Everyone that comes along here. But man, there is one thing in common. We don't like to do half-ass anything. And I think that's why, right?
Yeah, no, that's very true. I mean, we always making fun of each other, camaraderie and all that, but it's because of the perfectionism that we have to do things. And I think it definitely shows, especially in this podcast. You say episode 1, it's like getting to episode 1 was a lot of work going into it, right?
Yeah.
Learning, testing, learning, testing.
And I don't want to say anything, but I have to. But for our Portuguese-speaking Brazilian audience, it's actually not our first podcast in a sense.
That's
we
true.
just never got it down right.
Yeah, it was just we're kind of a failure, but it's okay. Hey.
No, serious, no joke. We've been trying to do podcasts and stuff for 10 years.
Yeah, at least 10, 15 years, yeah.
But throughout that time, we never had the motivation to do it first consistently and technically well done. You know, it's just hard, man.
Yeah, I think what's hard also for us, if you guys know 38 is, it's international, man. So there's a lot of, we used to go between the audiences. Do we go for a more international audience or US or Brazil? But I think that now, since we've been established here in Texas, I think that that's the way to go. We might have one or two in a different format, and I think to have you, Jason, a Texan that was not born in Texas, I learned about that, but Texan that's doing some awesome work in the cinema industry, and you can basically start talking about that. So you were not born in Texas, but you are a Texan.
That's right. No, I'm a true Texan now. I came to Texas in 1992, and I grew up in Louisiana. But where I grew up in Louisiana, which was Bossier City, so it's Shreveport and Bossier City. Nobody knows Bossier City when you say that name, but if you say Shreveport, they know Shreveport. Most people have heard of Shreveport. But I grew up in Bossier City, which is only literally probably 30 minutes from the state line of Texas, right. East Texas. So even my own people in Louisiana, if I would go down south, like to New Orleans or Baton Rouge, and they ask me where I'm from, and then I would say, Bossier City. They're like, you're not from here. They say in their Cajun accent. Yeah. You're East Texan.
That's funny.
Yeah, okay. But I don't know, I always felt like I'm a Texan. I grew up loving the Cowboys, watching Dallas Cowboys. Actually, yesterday I got to work with Emmitt Smith, which was awesome for me. To see the guy being healthy and everything. You hear about these football players and you see them they have a long career and then they're just jacked up. But Emmitt was super healthy and great. I know it means nothing probably to the Brazilian audience, but maybe they follow some American football.
No, but
yeah,
I don't know, but people, man, there are fans everywhere.
Yeah,
you know, our really good friend, one of our best friends, Deco. He's a big fan since we kids of.
He actually started. That's of
NFL, like football.
No, he was always, but he grew up with us shooting and everything. But he's now in Oklahoma, cop in Oklahoma, but. He started a league, a small league in our state in Brazil.
Which is very uncommon. We call American football, right?
He started American football.
Started
Yes.
American football
See, there
in
you go.
the south of Brazil, man.
That's crazy.
And actually, I think it exists until today.
I think so. He actually put a lot of work and was actually very cool.
That's funny.
But Chase, going back to one very important point, which we're gonna develop. You kind of make a joke about it. I don't know if it was now or when we were just trying the audio and trying to get shit done right, which took us only 12 hours. Jason is a movie producer. Jason's in the industry forever, right? And in the very technical aspect of it. And yes, why not start with a guy that is so knowledgeable about it? Even though it's very funny, man. I didn't expect a lot of his behavior. And I did at the same time because we know Jason's our boy. But he's too chill, and that pissed me off. I'm like, bro, this is not right. This is like
fucking sweating and shit.
Yeah, I'm sweating. I'm trying to get stuff right.
It's my fault now. I see. Okay.
But your personality is in that chaotic movie production. All that is perfect, right? You gotta be that way.
You know why? You know how?
Jiu-jitsu black belt.
No.
No? Oh, shit. Okay. I thought that was the answer to all my problems.
Actually, it's through the gift that I brought you guys today.
Oh, okay.
This is very customary when you go to be a guest at a house or a podcast,
Yeah,
that you bring something.
Oh.
So I brought a nice Texas 1835 bourbon, cherry flavored. Very fruitful for my friend.
For me.
Tony.
I
He
have
doesn't drink
Oh
it
my
much,
God,
so
I
maybe
see
it'll
it
be
is.
smooth. And we should try. You have glasses,
Thank you.
Tony.
I'm gonna get it.
Yeah,
Gonna get it. So
There you go. So
you can joke as much as you want. People watching will joke, but my brother's a drinker. Unfortunately,
mine too, but
yeah, unfortunately, a bit too much. Yeah, my brother's a little bit too much of a drinker, and he always mocked me because I'm not a drinker, even though I appreciate art, including the art of making great. Is this a bourbon?
it's a bourbon, I think.
Bourbon, for instance, yeah, it is.
It's a Texas-based
yeah.
bourbon. At least it's bottled in Louisville,
But the
Texas,
thing that is
so-
funny, Jace, I'm so happy.
1835.
Yeah.
Jace, I'm so happy you brought a tasty, fruity one. Because my brother always mocked me of being homosexual for this taste.
But look, I knew probably somebody watching, if they ever see this, they're going to give us shit for not being a purist of bourbon. But fuck them.
Yeah, okay.
Come here and,
Man, I
got the glass
tell
of
us why we should.
I don't drink, and I shouldn't drink. So, but okay, let's do it.
But I mean, come on.
yeah.
Like, we're trying here. Give us a break.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So 1835, that's a pretty important date.
Big year for Texas,
For Texas.
right?
Got an
Texas
actual
Fighting to
independence, yeah.
become. That's right. And I guess it kind of takes us. Let me open this. Takes us back to like me. The question you asked earlier about not being from Texas. I wasn't born here, no. So, and my mother actually was born way far away. She was born in Thailand. So,
Oh, yeah.
That's a crazy.
and my father was a
so
military Air Force guy and fought in Vietnam and met my mother over there. So maybe she was working. Maybe he actually met her like legitimately. I don't know. But I'm here.
Okay, I like it. Even before the drinking, that's
Wow.
I'm shocked.
I mean, the stories. Wow. They unfold. So
Wow.
let's try it. All right.
Wow.
Oh, good. Tony's a good man. He brought 4 glasses because the guy behind the scenes.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
to have
I
some.
actually,
Eduardo, I forgot about his existence.
I actually thought we were 4,
yeah.
but actually we were 3. But all right,
And we haven't even started.
all right.
Eduardo.
My brother,
Thanks,
brother.
join us and please. Cheers, brother.
Cheers, brother.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Ooh,
Cheers, guys.
yeah,
Cheers.
that's
That
right.
smells good.
Okay.
I like it.
So this is dangerous for me because again I have this
Yeah, that's
girly taste,
It's good, man.
and then I like it, man,
Yeah.
and then man, that's when Honestly, you're the same, man. You're so weak with drinks.
no,
It's kind of embarrassing, you know?
Yeah, no, this one.
This one's good, guys.
I would never be a proud drinker, like excessive drinker, but I mean, too much in the other way too, man. I'm like so weak, bro.
Yeah, I think, but the truth is, I don't think we ever developed that.
The resistance.
The resistance.
Well, it is the resistance, and the enjoyment of it, because you know, as much as it burns to someone that doesn't drink, but for someone that drinks, the burn is part of it all. You know,
This
so you don't even
doesn't
feel
burn,
it.
bro.
No, I know this
is dangerous,
this is
bro.
Good, yeah.
It's really good, by the way.
Wow, thank you
If you
so
don't know,
much.
it's a cherry bourbon. So I never had this before. But
Thank you so much.
had a cool label. It's like, it's how I like to drink wine too, but I'm not like an enthusiast. So I just buy wine based on how cool the graphic looks.
Oh, that's cool.
And so
that would be
thought,
totally
this
me.
one- It's like, oh, this one looks, they did a good job on the label. Let's get this
Yeah,
one.
I like it.
It
a
must
lot.
be good.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
Yeah, so
I
Jason,
go back.
so the idea in these conversations that we're going to have is, you know, to bring people that are true professionals or masters or people that are striving to really reach a certain level of mastery in what they do.
Yeah.
And I think that, you know, from the beginning, I think we met. I think I met you first before Tony.
Yes.
Tony shortly after,
Yeah.
but we were on a hunting trip. Not far away, west of here.
Yeah, I think. I mean, our friend Dave Melrose.
That's right.
Put us together
Through jiu-jitsu. I used
through
to
jiu-jitsu,
train with Melrose in LA. But what I wanted to ask you is two journeys. You know, your professional journey and also your jiu-jitsu journey, man.
Yeah.
Black belt. You know, one of the first group, part of that first group of black belts here in Texas. And I want to ask you about that journey first, and then I know the other journey is going to be much longer. But
Sure.
how did that start, man? By the way, super tough black belt.
Just, I took forever to get to black belt. I was part of the first group, but they all graduated before me, for sure.
Well, I'm still not there. I'm not, man. What can I say?
But actually, going back to the drinking thing, I think the jiu-jitsu actually gives you pause to not go crazy on a drink because you care about your body a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So
And training sucks after a night of drinking.
Exactly. So you're like, So you basically make all your decisions based on whether you're going to do good at jiu-jitsu or not.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
but yeah, my journey started probably like 99% of everybody that started jiu-jitsu that is a little bit older, that they saw Royce Gracie fight in the first UFC, and they saw this skinny bastard choking big guys out like crazy, right? And it was like an eye-opener. Like, man, I've got to learn this. It was actually a friend of mine I was in school with. His brother gave me a VHS tape, and I watched this UFC one. I was like, man, this is crazy.
That was crazy, right?
Yeah, this is
Jay,
like nuts.
sorry, man, but do you, as a filmmaker, as a producer, as a guys that won't be replicate again in history?
It can't be. It can't be replicated.
UFC,
what happened?
1, 2.
Oh, yeah.
The phenom was only there when people were pure, specific disciplines, martial artists.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow,
exactly.
for us it was so shocking, man.
Yeah.
Kids today don't know. have
No,
idea.
because it
They just
transitioned
think, just
to
take
a
MMA,
sport because
whatever.
you had to do that to make it become something real that everybody could watch, right? And to keep it going. Because if you remember, it was non-sanctioned. They wouldn't televise. They had, Dana had all this trouble or whatever. It's like, man. So yeah, to be able to be back there and to watch that for the first time in the 90s, it's like, whoa, this is crazy.
Crazy.
Right? So.
And then you saw Royce.
I saw Royce, man. And look, my brother, I have a half brother. He's grew up in the friggin' jungles in Thailand. He's straight savage, Muay Thai guy. He actually fought. Yeah, dead. Actually fought in the ring. Tough guy.
Yeah.
Moved here when he was 15 and had a lot of fights here because he didn't speak English. Americans can be real assholes, especially in high school age, right?
Every
Teenagers,
kid.
Yeah. So he's here, he's in special ed to learn English, but people pick on him.
Sure.
But bro, to see him fight was scary. And I saw him fight guys. And that's violence that you don't really know at that young age.
Right.
And you can imagine the guys that he would fight. They had no training of like fighting and professionally in a ring. Have no idea what you're up against.
Wow.
Crazy.
Wow.
So, and I saw him beat up. I have another brother who's my full brother. He's older than me because I'm the baby. Those two would get in fights. Not really fights. The debt would just kill them.
Oh
It's
my
like, and it was violent. It's like, man.
Why siblings, brothers are like that? Huh?
I don't know.
I remember my dad. He didn't have brothers. His dad actually passed at a very young age. And my dad always said, I don't get you. I don't get you guys. You're always fighting. Everything I want was a brother. I know I never had it. But it's just, it's so violent, man.
I know.
But such a valuable interaction in the end of the day, you know?
But I'm getting old, man. Today I think like, man, that's too much.
I think when you get older, you start to, I mean, when you're growing up with brothers, you kind of take them for granted. But then as you start getting older, you start caring about each other as human beings. So, I mean, I love my brother. He'll kill anybody for me if I ask him. So it's like amazing.
Yeah, and I remember that day that I met him. We were training. Yeah, we were training at Melrose's, and he was actually there all the time watching. Like I don't know how much he got into jiu-jitsu ever, but he was there the whole time watching us. Yeah.
He trained a little bit jiu-jitsu early, but he wrestled when he came to high school.
Oh,
he was like,
cool.
he played football. Cool. He like did all the American things. So
that's cool.
Kind of
and
fun.
then how was it in Texas? Where were you, and how did it start?
Yeah. So, my Texas jiu-jitsu, I trained jiu-jitsu my whole career from Carlos Machado, right?
Okay.
He moved here.
Very lucky, huh?
Yeah, he moved here to train Chuck Norris. I think everybody knows the story. Actually trained out of the Walker Texas Ranger Studios in Las Colinas.
Oh,
so there was a studio where they would shoot all this stuff. And
so wait a minute, I'm sorry. Chuck Norris being as legit as he is, right?
Chuck Norris is legit.
He built a gym to train.
He had a gym built. He let Carlos teach out of the gym inside the
And you guys were
studios.
training there too, or no?
I didn't start training there. I went there. This is a funny story because I was going to start training. After the UFC, I looked up, you start doing some research. I remember on the magazines even, the Machado brothers started getting some covers, right? The five brothers, read some articles and like, man, Carlos is here. I'm going to go to the best. And there wasn't a lot at the time. There was nobody here. I go to the studios. He had just moved.
What year is this?
Like 1990.
90 something.
95, 96.
Mid-90s.
Somewhere around.
No, actually, right.
Yeah.
Maybe 96.
Because I know because of the Walker Texas Ranger.
Yeah.
Oh,
I was watching, right? That's like a very old school stuff.
It is, yeah. So he had Carlos just moved to a racquetball court inside of Signature Athletic Club, which was literally like a block away from my house, my apartment where I was living at the time. It was like perfect.
So cool.
Yeah. So I started training there. That was where I started my journey, like officially with Carlos. White belt, was still a white belt. And then went blue, purple, brown, all the way to black.
And sorry.
No, that's right. And
then that, were you working locally there? What was the working connecting to your professional?
Okay, so in 92, I left Shreveport. I graduated high school. I was 17 still. And I moved to Dallas because there was a school here called the Art Institute of Dallas. And bro, I'm telling you, growing up, nobody ever went to college in my family, first of all, okay? I was the first one. I didn't even go to a real college. It was an art school. But I learned. I had this great teacher in high school. I was the only 4-year art student in my high school. The only student to go 4 years in art. So it was like I really loved art and doing stuff, and like graffiti and painting and things like this. And somebody came to the school. Was from the Art Institute. It kind of opened the world of that. So I moved to Dallas and I went to school at the Art Institute for a degree in graphic design. So I got a degree in graphic design. When I got out of school, when I finished the program, I got a job pretty immediately at a silkscreen, like a ad specialty company that does like T-shirts, like printing, mostly T-shirts, but they do all kind of ad promotions. And I was at that company for like 3 months, and then the company went out of business. And so, but at that company, I met my wife, my current wife today. I met her, she was working there.
Oh,
But so when they went out of business, I ended up getting a job at JCPenney, the corporate office, because they had just built their corporate office in Plano, Texas, and had a massive, everything was done there. Back in those days, they would shoot photographs of all the clothing, and they would make DVDs of all the stuff that they shot and send it to the stores all around the United States. I don't know if JCPenney had other places outside of the U.S. Maybe they do, I don't know. But they would that's how buyers made their decisions on what to buy for the store. The climate, what the clothes, how well it was going to sell, and things like that, right? Because if you're selling on the East Coast versus the West Coast, the style's different, things like that. But I worked in this department there, and I would do digital photography and photo retouching. And while I was there working, I happened to see Jurassic Park, the movie, which they had the dinosaurs, right?
Yeah.
And I had to go back to school to learn how to make dinosaurs, and that was the goal. Like I wanted to be like a 3D animator, like maybe go work for Pixar. Or
oh my
something
God,
like
how
this.
was back then, bro? What was it with the computers and the drawing? You really have to. How was
It was different. Actually, while I was in school for my graphic design degree, they had just started the animation program at the Art Institute. They had a lot of systems from a company called Silicon Graphics donated to build them a lab, because SGI, the Silicon Graphics company, had an office in Dallas, and so they donated machines to build a lab for the students, right, to do. And man, at the time, that software, like Power Animator software, which was one of the first ones for all the 3D animation, was $85,000 for one seat of software. Right now, we pay $50 a month for all the Photoshop, Adobe stuff.
Right.
For one seat was 85, and then the computer was 100. So it was not easy. So I was lucky and fortunate that the Art Institute had the infrastructure to help me with my career. So I had an opportunity to change paths during school. I could have switched from graphic design to computer animation, and I decided not to switch. I said, I was already over a year in on graphic design. I don't want to switch. I'm going to finish this, and I did, and then eventually I ended up back at the Art Institute. And I only had to take a year to get another degree in computer animation. And I graduated there in '97 with that degree. I mean, at that time, I was still working, luckily, at JCPenney. I think I did 4 years there. So, and at JCPenney, we had those computers. Like they would spend money like it was nothing for them. I think at the time they were still doing like really well. We had the best stuff, and so I kind of had like my own lab outside of school. I could do stuff, and I had a boss that I worked for that helped me, right? He knew a lot of shit already, so from there I started my career, moving up.
So everything started because of Jurassic Park.
I think so, man.
A movie that I didn't even care watching.
Yeah.
I don't think I watched it either, man.
Wow.
I just knew like it's dinosaurs on an island, but I don't think I don't know. I wouldn't know the plot or anything.
I don't even know how to explain. I just didn't care. I just
Bro, my cousin and I, we went to the movies one afternoon, and we saw it, and I was just like, these dinosaurs were so real. It was, I don't know, it was amazing.
Well,
I just felt it.
Remember Prince of Persia?
Yeah, of course.
You remember Prince of Persia?
I didn't watch Prince of Persia.
No, it's not a movie. It was on the
was a movie, wasn't
first
it?
personal computer.
I think it was a movie
the
originally.
game.
Yeah, the game.
The
of
game
course.
way before the movie.
Yeah.
I remember my cousin showing me, this is the most perfect movements, and I'm not joking.
Impossible
and
to get
I
better.
was watching, and I was like, wow. And then some years later, it came Street Fighter.
Yeah.
Street Fighter, I talked to my brother, we talked, the humans reach the extreme.
Yeah.
We cannot make anything more real.
Can't be more
crazy.
Can't be more perfect.
Street
than
Fighter.
this.
But okay, jokes aside, I didn't watch Jurassic Park, but I watched a bunch of it, enough to know that for those times were very realistic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
crazy.
once we got into the animation stuff, and like I really started after Jurassic Park getting into visual effects, and then we started having these run of movies like Forrest Gump that had like some amazing effects, right?
That's a very-
I remember actually had an instructor there that said, this is crazy because it probably ties back in today. It's like what you see there, like nothing could be real anymore. What do you believe? Like, because you see Forrest Gump with the presidents and they did such a good job in black and white
That
film.
was so good, yeah.
And I never thought about it until later where we are now with AI and all this shit happening. It's like, man, we could really stir up some trouble. Which
Jay, how back in the past you went studying? Because I'm very curious with those really old school movies. I rewatch again one that I watched as a kid. It's Odyssey with the actor Amanda Santi.
Amanda Santi, yeah, I know that actor.
Man, I love that guy as a kid. And they have the giant, the Cyclops, right?
The Cyclops,
giant.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
how was done back then, brother?
Well, I mean, when you watched it, you weren't like blown away now, but back then you were.
I'll tell you
mostly
this,
practical.
even now,
Yeah.
of course, it's so outdated, but it's still very cool.
Yeah, they did a good job.
How was that?
And for some reason, those movies also are like they're more involving, I think. Anyways, that's a separate
I
topic.
think
but-
you also are more forgiving now,
of
right?
course.
When you're watching
Perhaps.
something before, so you're less critical of it.
My question on that matter is very technical. How was I don't want to get all technical, but how was done? If what I know, it's a film.
Yeah,
So how you put the Cyclops in that?
a lot of splicing on the films.
Oh.
Yeah, so a lot of paint work on the frames.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
Think about it, yeah.
Paintwork on the frame,
Yeah.
literally.
yeah, literally.
That is insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
That's
cool.
so cool.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
And they shot stuff, a lot of forced perspective stuff too, to make things bigger, smaller.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
You go all the way back to like the planning that was involved. You talked about they really well planned. If you look at the Charlie Chaplin films and shit's falling, this guy like inches off is dead, right?
Yeah.
Crazy. Like they were very meticulous about getting the shots, and also they were shooting on film, so they needed to get it right.
And those things were really falling, you know?
Yeah.
It's not like a
Oh,
green
crazy.
screen or anything.
Right.
Wow. Yeah, man, that's
Much more forgiving now.
Jason, bro, not getting political or in any matter. It's not exactly what we do. It's just, I don't think we get political. What we get, I mean, definitely not political party. What we get is just, we take samples of society, especially modern society. We analyze compared to the past. Being that industry, you see any difference from the beginning to now, where we are, the behavior, the expectations, not necessarily the acting. I don't know, but the industry itself.
The industry itself, yeah. I mean, I'm still young in the filmmaking industry, honestly. I produced my first movie in 2019. I've been on movie sets for a long time because when I left JCPenney's, I went to work for a company where we actually supplied the hardware and the software because it was so expensive. You had to have a middleman between you and the manufacturer, that like the software maker or the computer makers, the experts of that gear. It's hard to believe, but they needed outside people to become their experts to sell their product.
Okay.
And that's known as like an integration company or a reseller. And so I worked for a reseller and teaching people how to use software and do the visual effects stuff. And then I supported the hardware. And so from the last, from like it was 99 when I started with the resell company. I went from there to all the way 2021 working for a company where that's all we did was support the infrastructure of like post houses, movie studios, small ones. Even Robert Rodriguez was a startup studio, small studio. So this was cool. I got to learn a lot being at Robert Rodriguez's place, Troublemaker Studios in Austin, but also working for Disney and Warner Brothers and going to some really big productions and being involved in them. And then in 2019, while working my full-time job, I actually did produce a film. Like I got on as a producer. And the way that started was in 2013, I color corrected. So I was training a lot of people in color correction and how, and the color correction process is once they shoot the film, it still has to be colored and color timed so everything looks the same, right? Because in a movie, you're shooting.
Parenthesis here. Oh, thanks for not helping us, with the studio since he knows so much. But go ahead.
Because I've never produced a podcast, but if you guys can do it, I probably will produce a podcast.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then color correction.
You're welcome. So I colored this movie called Cronus that this guy I just met, Derek Presley, and it's a great story because Derek now has gone on to writing some big movies, and Derek's been writing and making movies since he was 23 years old. He's like 40 now. He's an old guy now. So I colored this movie for Derek, met Derek. That movie went on to release. He did whatever with it. And then we didn't really talk much, just, hey, a little bit here and there. And then in 2019, a friend of ours, a mutual friend, reached out and said, hey, Derek's doing another movie. Do you want to color it? And then I was like, I don't know. Let me read the script. So I don't know why I asked for the script, but I wanted to read the script.
That's a good point. Why you got curious?
Yeah, I guess.
You just thought
the
Derek's
first
doing...
time I was like, colored a movie that I didn't really care about, didn't think it was that great of a film. And
Okay.
but this one, he sent me the script. I asked for the script, so I wanted to get into it a lot more. And man, I fell in love with the script because it was a movie called Whitetail.
Yeah.
It was about a kid that is brought out to this hunting lease to go hunting. His mother had just killed herself, and he's with his dad and his uncle, and they basically are hunting for the weekend, and then they find a guy that's been shot in the stomach holding a bag of money. So I'm like, man, this is awesome. And I love hunting. And so I was
cool.
I was like, yeah, I'm in. So I called Derek up. We started chatting. I said, hey, man, I'd love to do more than just color. I want to help you produce this thing.
By the way, Melrose Kid is in that movie.
That's right.
That's right, yeah. I actually didn't
That's
even
so cool.
know.
Yeah.
This is funny because Melrose and I it was an early relationship for us. I met Melrose at jiu-jitsu. He'll tell the story one day, but Melrose, I was the first guy to say hi to Melrose at jiu-jitsu and welcome him to the mat.
Oh,
Okay. I mean, I saw him, I was like, man, this guy looks like he needs some friends. So
That's cool.
it's like, hey, buddy.
This guy,
He's going to watch us and kill me.
this guy needs some friends.
Hey, he's like my best friend.
Oh,
This
it's
guy.
kind of what we did with him.
Yeah, you guys brought me in.
You think we became good friends?
No, yeah, it's true. It's true. I mean,
I jury is out
we would have
because
hoped.
We wouldn't let him fat.
No.
This is true.
That's the next
That's another
question.
story.
That's the next
According to him, he would tell that story.
I'll tell that story because we're not friends. So, you guys got me off track now.
No,
All right. So I started learning, Melrose kids were acting, especially his oldest boy, Dash, and
Dash,
really talented actor. And then I told Melrose what I was doing, and he was like, oh, that's cool. And it's crazy because when I got involved, Derek had already auditioned. And we're looking for, he's still looking for the kid who's the main character, who plays he's a little bit autistic. And I told Derek,
that's really cool. No, keep going.
Okay.
So Derek was still looking.
he was still looking. He had auditioned 80 or 90 people.
Are you
We should get him on here
kidding
and let him.
me?
He
That's
had a
good.
lot of kids he looked at.
90 kids.
Yeah,
imagine.
and then he was already he had the guy picked, the kid.
Oh, he had? Okay.
And then here comes me.
You.
And I'm like, hey, I think you should look at this kid, Dash, because I knew how talented he was. He's like, man, I've already been through.
went through that, yeah.
He's already. I was like, you got to look at him. And I made him look at Dash, and Dash got the role. I mean,
Wow.
he was
that's
perfect.
The
And
story.
they're talented kids, but they're also awesome kids.
Oh,
Yeah, exactly.
And
I think that's
so-
something that you can't overlook, right? First of the
Respectful.
parents and the kids, how are they going to behave working? Because when you're on a set, you're working, you're on a job.
Yeah.
And you got to look at that. So
Yeah, and there's a whole theme of self-sustainment and everything in that family that Melrose is instilling in everyone around him. That's really cool.
Yeah, his wife, they are awesome, actually.
Yeah.
What a nice family. Yeah.
So I produced this movie, Whitetail. I was still working a full-time job, but really the ultimate goal for me to learn more about production. I was working, like being on set with Robert on some of those bigger films that he was doing, like Grindhouse and stuff. And we built some really cool systems. Tom Memoir, who owned a company called Interactive Effects, built one of the first systems that would allow us to take a high definition feed off the camera into the computer, and we could color grade, change the colors of the look of the image coming in live on set.
Wow.
And so we were playing with that, and that became like a real thing.
Okay. And that's, I'm sorry, but would speed up so much the post-production. Is that correct?
Because you could save looks, which became LUTs, lookup tables. You could save those on set and then reapply them later in post or share them out. So
people don't think about that, Jay, but there's so much money in the technical aspect of making a movie, right?
Well, look, if people could see this environment with all the lights around and understood how long the setup took to get what we have here, like you could utilize a system like that to push the color. So Robert would look at that and say, oh, well, let's change the color a little more orange here, or let's move this light, because he could see the image already with a post-colored look on it. So anyways, I say that because once I got to producing, I wanted to bridge the gap between post-production and production, because those two are two completely separate worlds, which blew my mind. And I come from post-production. So I understand post-production like you guys understand guns. Like I know the process of post-production from once you get a digital file till it has to move through a pipeline, like editorial, color, visual effects, sound, and then a master. Like I know that, but I didn't know production that well, only from what I saw on set. But they're just so different. The people are different. Even the people that work in the industry are just opposite kind of people. And I hope this doesn't come off wrong, but like in production, the people are more like blue collar, like workers. Like I have my job. This is all I'm going to do. I'm not going to touch this. I only touch this. You don't get to touch this. This is my job, kind of thing. And then in post, it was a little bit different. Like people kind of had more of a generalist kind of, I don't know, they would have their specialty, but they also would dabble in other things. Right?
Well,
so
why?
I don't know. Maybe because there's more time.
I was going to say that. I'll tell my impression from production.
Yeah, because production is a beating, right? Yeah. It's
stressful.
It really is. You got to be very intentional about everything you do. And a lot of planning goes into it. So anyway, so my goal was to put together these production and post, like make it a very seamless and like a much better workflow and pipeline that we could move data through a lot faster. And I felt like I succeeded with that. I was very lucky.
Did you have to end up working on both?
Oh my God, dude. I did, and that's what happens. That's my life, though. I'm not afraid to work, but I did. Like I ended up, producing this thing. We actually shot this movie in 12 days, which is amazing. If you watch this movie, it's on Amazon, called Whitetail. And I think what we did, what we pulled off was incredible. So for our budget and for the days that we had to shoot this film. Wow. And it was November. We finished right before Thanksgiving. So 12 days minus whatever Thanksgiving Day was that year. And the weather was like 70, 30, 60. Like the days were like, yeah, exactly. It was crazy. One day I was driving an hour, so 3 hours every day to go to set and back. I would wake up super early, go to set, and I'd drive home after. Sleep for like 4 or 5 hours, get up, go to set. One day it actually iced and I couldn't come home, so I went to a hotel. But that was, my life was like 16-hour days for 12 days straight. And every film is like that, right? It's like, it's crazy when you get on set. So, but I learned a lot. I was working with a company called Codex at the time. They had just come out with a new storage appliance. It's called a NAS, like a network attached storage, and they wanted to show it off. So I said, hey, and their Codex is very plugged into Hollywood because they built, I don't know if you're familiar with there's a red camera and we were shooting this film. So the Arri camera, those are like the top two. Hey, let me borrow the storage, I'll test it for you guys, and we'll bring it on set and we'll utilize it. And so they built this pipeline where we could film that day and then get all the footage into the storage and then review stuff, like our dailies basically, and use the Codex storage. And then I would have Codex write an article for us about, what we did. So we it was a favor for both of us. So it was,
When you mean storage is physical,
yeah, like a hard drive.
like a hard
Yeah,
drive,
so they made this hard drive box that,
probably something super strong and tough.
yeah, and had RAID protection. So like if you lost a hard drive, you wouldn't lose your media. So that's where we're backing up our media, and then we're also backing it up on another device. It was actually, that device was a dynamic drive pool. So I had two different companies with storage devices being used on the film. And I just wanted to do it to see if we could just make a better system instead of waiting to look at stuff, right? And that's what we did. We utilized it so then Derek could look at the dailies of what he shot before the next day. So you could know, like, hey, did we miss this? Or if we had to go back to something, we could just go right away and pull it and say, oh, this is how it needs to match, you know, that kind of thing. So,
Jason, that mindset, the post-production, together with the production mindset that took you to, I never thought about that, took you to your most recent project,
yeah, I think so. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's always thinking about making things more efficient as you produce in the movie.
Yeah, because as a producer, a lot of people, I didn't even really understand what a producer role was, what a producer did, and there's a lot of different producer roles, right? You get some producers that you see the credits, and it says producer, and there's like 50 producers. It's because those guys kicked in some money or whatever, right?
Sure.
For me as a producer, it's always been on set every day, by the camera, by the director.
You told me to watch a series, which I did, that it gave the full understanding of a producer, which is I forgot the name of the series, but it's about the Godfather.
About the making of the Godfather.
How they
I
making
watched
the
that
Godfather.
too. That was
amazing,
so good.
right?
that guy's the
Miles
producer.
Teller,
Yeah.
that guy.
Yeah.
That's the role that I felt
Wow.
like I learned just by having to solve problems, like fix things, solve issues, man. And if you can't, I mean, here's what I always say about being a producer. Let's say if you don't have faith and you want to learn how to have faith, become a producer. Like, because you have to just know or figure it out. Or if you want to problem solve, become a producer. Because that's it. Every day is freaking problem solving stuff. It's always something. You're the biggest babysitter on set.
Yeah. Wow.
And it's leading up to shooting. That's just a shoot day. Like before a film starts, there's all the pre-pro that's happening, right? And depending on how much you want to be involved in an indie film, you're like super involved. I bought in the movie, there's an RV, like a small trailer where they're in, where they're sleeping. Their hunting cabin is an RV. I bought that, I found it I guess I found it online, but I drove like an hour away to go pick it up. I bought it for like $600, had no tags, nothing, no lights, nothing. I towed it to Fort Worth. I was like, man, if we get pulled over, it's like, actually I took it home for a night first, which just sat out in the front yard. But that's what producers did. I thought.
That's funny.
I have a question, Jason, because an independent film takes probably the same amount of effort, but with a much smaller contingency of people helping. You're looking for efficiency. That's what you're doing. But is there sort of an establishment that exists around the film industry that makes it harder for newer developments and just new things to come up? So basically, like when I say establishment, I say Big Brother.
I know what you're
that
asking,
doesn't let the little guys sort of do their thing and makes it hard for them.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. And I think it's one of those things where you meet some people that are very job security oriented, like they're very closed, like with either contacts, connections, or how things are done. They don't share that knowledge. I think because they're afraid that if they give that up, they'll then lose, I guess, the control. I mean, so it is a very hard industry, especially for indie filmmakers. First of all, oh my God, filmmaking is expensive, right? And when, like you said, your contingency plan is usually you don't have one. It's like you have to get it right.
Yeah.
And there is something in a budget that they usually put like a 5% contingency or more. Like
Sure.
even working with SAG, or I'm talking about the unions now, they want to see your budget and they want to see what your contingency is. That's how they know. I mean, how movies go. It's like there's going to be something
That's crazy.
that goes wrong where you're going to need some money or something to fix it.
Wow, I have, if you think about it, I would never think about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Why there is such a thing, right? It's actually, you got a point and he confirmed it to make it harder and more expensive. And
And
I mean, how many
once,
talents have been stifled by things like that, like that's...
No, I worked with a talent. I consider him a friend now, Neil McDonough. He was probably our first, I would say, big actor, known actor that was in a movie that I produced. It was a second movie called Redstone. And I say I had Austin Williams who produced with me, both Whitetail and Redstone, so I don't want to take all the credit. But I'm the guy, because of the post knowledge, I was there pre-pro production, so I'm with everything being filmed, but then I take everything home because I edited it as well.
Oh my God.
And the visual effects.
Oh, you
and
did?
delivered the masters
You
and
did that?
handled all.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
It's insane. That's
Like,
unbelievable. Yeah.
well, some
Wow.
people would just walk away, right? Because it's just so much. I mean, but I don't know. That's
Yeah, and
That's
then but
what
your
you do.
attitude, man. But your attitude has always been that, like never giving up. Like you don't show. Like there were times that I saw you at jiu-jitsu or, Tony. He'll probably talk about that. He was working with you for a while on set. Doing security.
yeah. I will talk about it. That's our fourth
for
movie,
you guys.
the fourth
But I
film.
went there and visited just for a day, and I could see how hard everyone is working, but how hard you were there holding everybody together, and that had been, I don't know how many weeks that it was going on, and it's incredible, man. And you always kept that stoicism and that attitude of, hey, it is what it is, it's a hardship, but who doesn't have it?
Yeah. I think I mentioned it earlier, like driving, 12-day shoot, 16-hour days. So I learned from there, like when a film's starting up, that's going to be your life for X amount of days, like no matter what. It's like you already you have the mindset already, like I'm in it, doesn't matter. We're doing this, you're already committed, so we just got to get through it. And I just count the days, honestly. I'm like, okay, we're 10 days in, we're 12 days in, and we're seeing the light now. It's actually kind of crazy, but you become a robot or a soldier.
I was gonna say it's like an autopilot, but in a
yeah.
good way,
Yeah,
in
but
a way
good
that
Yeah.
you embrace and you wanna be perfect, yeah.
But going back to like blockers, and I do think, I wish the industry was a lot more friendly to everybody. I know Hollywood owns it and has owned it for a long time. I talked about Neil because I know he, amazing actor, had a really great career going, and he, out of respect to his wife, they wanted him to kiss her, so they had this like kissing scene with another lady and he refused to do it, and they kind of blacklisted him for it.
Whoa.
So it was years that he went, right? I mean, things happened,
Like
and I don't know all the stories, but with Mel Gibson, like you can find the stories out there.
A well-known actor, after a long career, decides, man, this scene, we should make it differently.
Yeah.
They blacklist you.
Yes. Like when he refused to do it, I was like,
It's
man,
like
that's crazy.
You're
Like,
not obedient. You're not.
right. You're not
You're
being
worse than obedient,
Yeah.
right? What would be the word? Like submissive or whatever.
Yeah, submissive.
You don't have.
Insubordinate.
You don't have an opinion here.
Yeah. Yeah, this is your job. You do what we say. And I was like, wait a minute. So, anyways.
And the same people that spread the understanding of acceptance of everything's okay. The same people
The
that do
same
that,
people spreading are the ones that are like
that cut you
that are
immediately.
cutting you. Yeah.
If you don't obey,
you don't do
because
what I
you
say
are
you do.
married
Yeah.
man, you don't obey a scene that is probably not necessary.
And I'm sure that's how I was seen. Yeah. So,
Wow.
it's crazy, but yeah, I think there's stuff that happens. I think that probably happens in every industry that we're in, right? There's
Jason,
people that
let's
are
get back
involved
to
at top.
the chronology of
Chronology?
your movies. So you spoke of
2019
Second.
Whitetail,
Yeah.
Redstone,
Redstone.
2020.
okay.
We started to pre-pro this movie. Again, Derek wrote this film. I think the first name was Blue Sapphire. So, like I remember having lunch and trying to come up with a name. We didn't know Yellowstone was coming out. I probably wouldn't have called it Redstone. With Neil. Neil was in Yellowstone as well, actually.
That's right. Yeah.
So, but we were going through actors, and then let me back up a little bit. We had scouted locations. We rented a production office in Fort Worth, and then this little disease thing, COVID.
Whoa.
Came, whatever you want to call it.
Whatever, yeah.
Showed up, and this was April. I remember Austin saying, man, this will be gone in a week.
Ooh,
like it
we
was
all
a
thought
flu,
that.
right?
Yeah,
Like
we
it was
all
gonna be
thought
gone.
that.
And then right after that, SAG, who was the Screen Actors Guild, the union, who we were working with now because we stepped up and we're now working with SAG to get some real actors. Not to say our other actors aren't real, but to get bigger name actors. We actually had SAG actors in the first film but it was a non-union film.
So that's a union, the
Yes.
Screen Actors Guild.
The biggest
so they
union in the world,
What
I
do
believe.
they own? The right for you to contact the actor?
So, yeah, kind of. So they set the rules for how the actors are treated, how they're paid, how many hours they can work, and you pay them.
Crazy.
Yeah,
So-
that's Brazil. Brazil. We're from Brazil. We know, and then, but like, but
So there's the cost to the
insane.
actors,
Which
and then there's the percentage to the
Companies.
union.
yeah, of course.
That's communism.
Yeah, communism. Yeah, yeah.
It's tough. And so, I mean, SAG, they basically pulled all the actors because of COVID. It's like nobody's working, right? And so there was a lot of actors that wanted to work
Yeah.
because, look, we all need jobs to keep feeding our families. Not every actor is sitting on $50 million of cash or whatever.
Plus, a lot of people had brains, and they don't want to fall into such a fear.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah,
That's the real
Yeah.
epidemic, the fear.
the fear.
Yes. Yes.
But I mean, it stopped us. We had to pause the film because we had no actors anymore.
Wow.
We couldn't film, and for even Texas wasn't allowing filming, which was crazy. I'll tell you, this is a funny story because so then that happened. I think we went on pause for 2 months. It was around May, and then Austin said, "This is all credit to Austin." He's like, "Hey, we should talk to Robert Johnson, Chief Bobby J, Corsicana,
Yep.
Police Chief of Corsicana."
Yeah.
So we talked to him, and because Bobby's the police chief, he knows how many active cases of COVID are going on. There were only 8 in Navarro County at that time. And then SAG was going to let the actors come back to work with an agreement, like how are we going to do it? I actually was working back and forth with SAG to develop the protocols that got put into place
Yeah.
and how we would try to work. And they actually went super crazy from what we were going to do, but we knew. So we got on the phone with SAG, we started talking to them, and like, this is how we're going to do it. We're moving our production from Fort Worth to Corsicana, small town.
Okay.
We know the cases are very small. We're going to be very careful. And we made this movie, and Neil was the lead in this film, and that's when I met Neil. So
That's
I
Boone.
learned. That was Redstone.
Oh, that was
It's
Reds.
the prequel to Boone. So fast forward, actually in on set, I remember Neil saying something to Derek, and Derek kind of laughing it off. Like, he's like, "Oh, we got to do a sequel." But in Redstone, maybe or maybe not, Boone dies. So at the end, I don't want to ruin anything, but so Derek kind of laughs it off, but Neil was serious, and man, Neil pulled together in December of 21. Was it 21? No, 2020. We're still in 2020. We were up in Spokane, Washington, scouting locations for the sequel. Like,
How long after?
it was
long at all.
just, we were still like finishing. I think Redstone was in audio being finished when we were scouting for another
That's
film,
crazy.
like the sequel to Redstone, and it had to be completely different for Derek. So it was basically a spiritual sequel, same character,
Okay.
So,
different looks.
Jason, and forgive me for being quite ignorant in the whole industry and how it works, but it seems also that you found just a good bunch of people that want to do work together, that are really focused on like, hey, let's get this. I mean, that's, because it's not just like wanting. I mean, you have to have a bunch of people that are in unison.
Your core
sort
group
of-
has
yeah,
to be
okay.
together for sure. We obviously, when you get filmed, sometimes you
Because
can't
you
take
just
the
roll-
exact crew because they're already working on something else or moved on.
Sure.
I mean, and I'll tell a story about Redstone. We, because we were in Corsicana, it was also during BLM. There was a big movement happening, and our art department, man, I'm telling you, being a producer would give you a freaking heart attack, gray hair. There was supposed to be a planned march in Corsicana down the streets for, whatever activists or whatever protesters. Mm-hmm. So I told the art department, there's 3 of them that I didn't know. I just met them for this, but actually Bobby vouched for them, so I felt quite like, okay, they're probably good people. Like Bobby said, they're good, or at least the main lead was good, the art director we had. And I asked them, we were going to start filming on Monday. Robert he'd come on as a producer because he's helping us with all the logistics of the town. And I got a call from Robert on Sunday. So we were in Corsicana, it was Saturday. I told them, I said, hey, there might be a protest thing happening tonight. Would you all mind just staying in the hotel rooms? I don't want you to get hurt or anything if something were to go crazy, protest, how things could go wrong. Okay, so it's actually kind of funny that I think back. I got a call from Robert the next day, and he's like, I can't, I'm done, I quit, I'm not going to be on this movie with you. I was like, what? We're starting tomorrow. We're filming Monday. What happened? What's going on? He said, you didn't see the stuff online? And I was like, what are you talking about? And so he sent me screenshots. Well, the protesters the big protest didn't happen, the march. My art team became the protesters.
Oh my God.
They had poster boards.
No, man. Fuck.
And here's the real problem with this, man. They're on Main Street and they're yelling 10 o'clock at night and holding up posters, 3 of them protesting. And there's a statue. And Corsicana is a beautiful town, right? They have all these bronze statues of very respected, heroic people. Yeah. One of them was a police officer, a fallen Dallas police officer that was killed saving people from protesters in 2016 in Dallas. Robert had to bring the guy's body home. He was a friend, and they were making lewd gestures, flipping off the statue, just being complete assholes. So Robert tells me the whole story. I drove to Corsicana.
Oh my God.
I fired them and had to replace them in the same day.
Holy shit.
We started filming Monday, but man.
Wow.
And you're still on schedule. And
yeah,
you just
and Texas wasn't even allowing filming yet because I had reached out to Texas to talk about incentives, and they were like, well, you're not even allowed to be filming. I was like, okay.
Texas state?
The state.
The state.
They wouldn't allow it. They weren't letting people go back to work and filming, but we started before they allowed it.
And you just pushed it?
We just pushed it. We just did.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's movie making.
That's
indie filmmaking to the core, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a sad thing that happened.
Wow.
And kind of funny in a weird way since.
Funny but bad.
But that's a little bit of insight of what a producer deals with. So we go up and we start looking at locations for Boone, me, Derek, and Garrett, the DP. We fly up to Spokane. We started in January. So one story from that, Neil starring in that. We got some really big actors in that. A really good group of people. It became not just one union, not just SAG. It became IATSE, another union, and DGA, Directors Guild. So it was a multi-union, 3-union film, height of COVID in the winter, January in the mountains, like crazy. Wow. So there was one story I was going to tell, getting a phone call in the morning where we had this cabin rented in the mountains, and we would transport from base camp is about 5 miles up in the mountain to the cabin where the actors were doing their scenes. And so we had our transpo crew driving people back and forth. Well, on the way back down from dropping off some actors, think I was on the way back down, the van flipped over, hit some ice, going too fast, my guess, flipped over, blocked the highway, cars can't get by, which wasn't many going, but they had to get a tow truck in. It put us behind schedule because nobody else could get transported up to the cabin, because crew had to also get transported, right? It's just those are the little producer stuff that you deal with.
So. And you have to be, man, I'm sorry the analogy, but it's everywhere.
Yeah.
Like jiu-jitsu, you have to be ahead of everyone, right? The black belt is the one ahead of whatever.
Yeah, you
The
think
blue.
sometimes, and then you train with other black. There's levels, right?
Well, but there is a mixture of being ahead. Yeah, I know what you're saying, of course. And then the problem might be even a red belt problem. But being a black belt and being a leader, right? Which you can be a blue belt, a white belt, and be a leader. So you need the combination. The leader is the one that makes the call, even though no one's 100% sure, right? But he got to make the call.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, those are just the little problems that I learned along the way of producing. And while Derek and I were up there, we were already working on this script, this movie called Tonic. This is introducing you guys now into my life. We come back, finish Boone. Thank goodness we finished. I did lose one day of an important actor that I had, so these are the problems. Because we had a union sit out one day, they decided not to work because there was a COVID scare. And they wouldn't go back to work until the guy tested negative. And the problem was the state of Washington wouldn't allow you to get another test within a week if you already tested. It was a state law. So he had to go to Iowa, get tested, come back with a false positive. But because of that, the crew said, we're not going to work today. We're scared. But they never left the parking lot. They hung out together, fucking, hey, bro, hanging out, getting their payday. So I lost a full day with Jason Lee, who was like one of my favorite actors, the Dragon, Bruce Lee himself, right? He was in the movie, and so we lost a whole day of shooting with him. We tried to make up what we could the next morning. I actually have a really cool scene I'm going to release pretty soon of Neil and Jason Lee in a fight in this little cabin. It actually turned out pretty cool, but it didn't have enough for the cut of the movie. So it didn't make the cut. So now Jason Lee is still in the movie, but he's just had a very cameo role. So shit like that you don't control, man. But you try to make the best of, and these assholes don't understand that you can't just change. Like, these actors have schedules. I mean, people have schedules, and he's from Hawaii. He has to get back. I only have him for 2 days, basically.
It is a one specific thing that you definitely learn, and you would never do the same. Is that a one specific thing?
Yeah. I mean, look, I would build in serious contingency now going forward, and by contingency I mean money. So, because you have to, if everything snowballs, it gets more expensive. Because the next day we actually had to go into overtime because they didn't want to work the day before, so they end up working fucking 16 hours the next day.
So when you tell, as a producer, you're looking for sponsorship, for instance, when you tell people that the money budget is this, now you know for sure that that is a big possibility that is not this, actually this.
Yeah. But it always happens. You actually do plan, but then you start to take money from other places, like you put money in for marketing or stuff in for post. But then when you start seeing these problems,
you feel it on the go, like, man,
I'm going to have to pull this so we can get through this. And then once we get here, and then we say to ourselves, we'll just get it later. We'll pick it up somewhere else later because we don't need it until later. But sometimes it's hard,
So producers a mixture of a GM, a finance guy, everything.
I mean,
people are PR.
Yeah, and I relate it to the business, an owner starting a business. The movie's your product, so you make the movie, and then you have to sell the product.
Oh my!
So then you have to go sell it, and then you close the business down.
So people don't know that. I don't know that. Right? I mean, I know little from you, but I will tell you what normal layman, whatever, would think. You make a movie, and in my head, we make a movie. It's already, if the movie is good, it's success. It's like. Yeah. That is a thing that we don't know. That is, we make a movie, everything goes well. The movie might be great, might be the best movie, but now you need to sell the movie.
Yeah, exactly. Not all the time.
Which I'm not talking about the theaters, is the distributor?
The distributors, the distribution. So
the distribution.
If you're smarter, you go into a movie already with distribution planned or done. But if you're a young indie filmmaker, unless you get a big talent, it's hard to pre-sell that movie to the distributor. Like if I signed Tom Cruise, I could probably get $50 million from Paramount or whatever. But Tom Cruise isn't coming working with Jason on a small movie, right? So, I mean, even Neil had taken a chance with us on Redstone because we were a small group, but he saw how well we were.
But Jay,
together.
small movie has nothing to do. That's a point that people, as spectators, we know.
Yeah, the
a
audience,
small
right?
movie has nothing to do how good the movie is.
100%.
You can have millions of dollars stupid movie.
I've seen them. I mean, we've all seen them,
We
right?
all seen them.
Well, like, how did they waste $100 million on this piece of shit?
Yeah.
Or you see a movie that was made for $2 million, like, man, that's an amazing film.
Yeah.
Right? So,
So how you surprise the distributor that turn you down by?
well, the distributor, what I've learned, this is just my experience, is they like to sell a movie based on the poster. If you could, and then what's hot at the time. If you could put a recognizable actor holding a gun on a poster, it'll probably sell really well in Vietnam market.
Yeah,
Okay.
It's
that's
true.
funny.
So,
Okay,
like movies are sold at market based on posters.
that's so funny.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's
That's so
crazy.
funny.
It does make sense
Yeah.
because the product movie or film is already a super sellable, but it's how you label
Well,
it.
they look for the
basically.
genres, right?
Yeah.
So if you put Frank Grillo in
Yeah.
a shoot 'em up movie, it's probably going to do well.
Right.
Like recognizable action star kind of thing, and like they don't really care about, because once it's sold, it's sold. You got your money. You're not getting a refund if you bought a movie on Amazon,
Yeah,
right? Or you rented
sure.
a film. You're not asking for a refund because you didn't like the movie. So as long as the movie could sell based on a trailer on a poster,
Okay.
made his money. So that's kind of how I see the industry going. I didn't watch the Oscars. I haven't watched Oscars in years, but I heard through some messaging back and forth that from Lola, actually, my business partner on Tonic, that it was all indies that won, like the big awards. So I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Maybe there's something out there that's changing in the ether. Like people are sick of,
Well, some of the big dogs, are not here anymore.
maybe. Could be. There's a lot of conspiracies.
A
in
lot
there.
of
Yeah.
But anyways, when we were finishing, or while we were working on Boone, there was already this
Yeah.
other movie called Tonic.
Yes,
Right? And
yes.
Tonic was, after the experience or going through the experience of Boone Multi-Union, we wanted to get back to something small. We, meaning Derek and I, and that was Tonic. It was an amazing script about this character, Sebastian Poe, played by Billy Blair.
Yeah.
Almost his true life story, where he's just a musician that wants to play the
That is
best
so
gigs.
awesome.
And man, we came back and that movie just came together, and it was like my most favorite project. It was only one union, it was SAG, which I'm very happy to deal with SAG now because I've
Okay.
learned and made like relationships and things like that. And they've always been good to me and never been troublesome. I don't know why. Maybe because we've always done the right thing too. And I'm sure there's a lot of filmmakers that they set out to do the right thing, but then they just don't. Whatever. I don't know. So, anyways, Tonic, I get you guys involved because we're
Yep.
making a movie.
That's
Oh my gosh, we're shooting a movie in Deep Ellum, in Dallas, and Deep Ellum is like, maybe it's the most criminal
It's
run
pretty dangerous.
area.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
There's a lot of
bad
going
things
on.
happening
Yeah.
in Deep Ellum. It's the
Yeah.
arts district of Dallas. It's not
art.
yeah.
The art.
It's where all the tattoo parlors are. It's where all the bars are. It's
yeah,
like
no, it's very,
yes.
it's very cool.
Yeah, so
Jason,
the listeners look up Deep Ellum, Dallas. Yeah.
no, Deep Ellum, Jason, here's the deal. You help me, man. I mean, we are locals now, but there was a Deep Ellum when I first came to Texas, when I first got here. And a Deep Ellum, and that was a transition moment, which is after the Corona COVID thing. But it's still, it's for movie set, it's everything you want is there. For that movie, for
Yeah.
that,
It was
how you call that style? That movie style. It's like a real life, but it's not. It's like true story, not true
Well,
story.
yeah, we call it an odyssey. So, I mean, basically that movie was an odyssey. It was an overnight odyssey of this one character who just wants to play the piano. He's a jazz musician. He takes a lot of drugs. His sister's dying of cancer. He takes her opioids.
Oh my God.
He's into this dirty cop for like $7,000. The cop calls him in and says, I need my money by morning.
Another great actor,
Yeah,
Jason,
Jason
right?
Coviello, yeah.
Coviello.
I need my money by morning. And Sebastian Poe can't pay, so he gets tasked to go kill a guy to settle his debt. And the guy's not like a violent criminal. He's like, he doesn't even own a gun. He's like, he doesn't like guns. So he's got to go through the night. And so we follow his journey of getting a gun and the people around Deep Ellum and like his area that know him and what his task is at hand. So I love the movie.
I love it.
I think it's a fun, and it's based off some old classics that were actually from big directors. Like After Hours, Tonic is very inspired by After Hours, made by Martin Scorsese. Bombed though, made shit. Bombed from the standpoint of a picture, right? A film making money, and from a director like Martin Scorsese.
Yeah.
Bombed at the time, but today is held and regarded as like one of the best pictures of Martin Scorsese. It's crazy, right? The other one was Killing of a Chinese Bookie from John Cassavetes. Amazing film. Most people hate it, even hate it to this day. I actually love that film, but it was a kind of an experimental thing. John could do what he wanted with audio, and he did some weird shit. Like unlike us testing the audio, he was like, all right, let's get it. And then you just got shit audio, but it still made the movie. They didn't try to fix it or clean it up or anything. It was just part of the film. You'd hear one guy talking, then you wouldn't hear the other guy. And then it's like, crazy. Is this a real movie? Like, what's going on? It was a fantastic movie. And so those two movies inspired Tonic.
Tonic,
and
okay.
The feeling of Tonic.
Man.
But because it was in Deep Ellum, I called you guys. I was like, Tony, I need two things. Number one, security. Number two is guns, because we need guns. We need weapons, not for security, but for props in the film, right? Yeah. And I also called Taryn Douglas, another black belt like killer. So awesome. I had you guys like taking care of us. Yeah. And not just from a security standpoint, but the gun standpoint was real important for me. Yeah. And it's not that important for others. And I think this is interesting because like if you look at like the things that went wrong with Rust and somebody dying on set, or any film sets where like Jason's Brandon Lee getting shot and killed, like things that are super avoidable, right? And so I know guns I just kind of grew up in hunting and a gun culture. I don't know guns like you guys know guns, but I feel like I'm very aware and I understand gun culture a lot, where everybody's afraid. And it's really funny because even Derek doesn't know guns at all. Like the director doesn't really. So
that's a funny story. I get there, right? He put me in that. He put us in that job, right? And I get there. Yves know all that. Yves was not on set. Actually, went there a couple of days.
Yeah, a couple of days.
But I was full operational in our. But how we were helping, and then I got there. And I know the job. And in the beginning, I got kind of mad at Jason, right? Because of a budget thing, Jason couldn't have a bigger team. And I said, you're an asshole. Because this is wrong. Yeah. This is serious shit. If something happened, I'm not a superhero, man. Yeah. I'm not a Superman. Right. What do you want me to do? Yeah. And like, all right, man. We got to that deal. Let's face it.
I was confident between you and Terry, maybe me and Taryn, we could probably get out of a situation.
So I get there, and to confirm my concerns, as I walk in the, how we call that, the apartment, the production.
Yeah, our office,
the office,
the base camp. Yeah.
So the base
production
camp, right?
Office,
they rent this cool place. Apartment, whatever was cool for the office. So I walk in, and Derek, you don't remember that? Immediately after he sees me, he's like, "Oh my God, thank you so much."
Oh, he was worried.
Oh my God, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm so happy to see you. And I'm just like, Derek, bro, okay, let's kick off. Let's do it. That's Deep Ellum. And the movie. It's non-stop for 3 weeks, right,
Yes, yeah.
3 weeks non-stop, day and night. Yeah. And that's Deep Ellum. Yeah. That's like, some nights are like thousands of people, cars. And
crazy.
like a
There was a
homicide.
there was a
like
homicide the
murder,
first night of
night.
filming.
First night of filming, it's at that bar.
It was like 2 miles or a mile away.
I heard something,
Yeah.
so I have 2 miles. He's so funny. He's so funny. I have to go out on the back door of that bar, and I think it was just me and maybe Terry, and we went out to see, man, what is out? This is too much. And I have the cop radio stuff. I scared it. So I know, man, it's like something serious happened, right? Like,
Yeah.
So we went out. I went out, and it's this like September 11 type of cop level.
Right,
Like
yeah.
all the cops, all the lights. I was
Yeah.
like, and I'm like, what in the hell is going on? And eventually we learned there was
It was a shooting in a nightclub.
In a nightclub.
Wow.
In a
Yeah, the
nightclub.
same night. Man, it's
Yeah,
crazy.
there was a shooting in a nightclub, and someone
That's
got.
deep Ellum. I mean,
And Terry is the best. You know, my partner at that, the other black belt guy. He's awesome. But I didn't know Terry. I knew Terry just from Jason talking about him and maybe hi a couple of times before. I don't remember exactly. So I didn't know how it was to work with Terry. And Terry, which is amazing guy, very intelligent, very sweet, very nice. But I don't know.
Yeah.
His looks is like the meathead.
Yeah.
So he's strong, right? He's a big boy.
yeah.
It's a big boy, bald head.
Bald head,
beard,
cauliflower ears.
cauliflower.
It's like-
You know, he has the
Tattoos,
mean bouncer
sleeves,
look,
yeah.
tattoos, but he's not. But I don't know, right?
Sweetheart,
So
yeah.
first day I'm looking at Terry, I'm like, cool, nice, yeah, this guy, cool. He's gonna like slap someone, and you know, or do what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is that he ended up being, he is the guy that he is, and was everything. Thank God, and you know, of course, thank God, thank that all this energy that protect us. But it's also, I would say, I'll blame our professionalism. You know, we always warn and knowing where we can take chance, where we cannot, and the connection, right? It's not just a guy hiring me. It's like it's you. So we work as a team very smoothly.
Of course, yeah. And like another part of my producer role is also looking out for where we're going to be and where we are. I mean, we also had a couple nights where we actually had to hire DPD. The Dallas Police came out. True. Super awesome to work with.
That was cool.
Closed down some roads, So Tonic was.
But
was
the
something,
level
man.
of respect, Jay, that I gave to the industry at that experience, it changed completely. It went from an ignorant point of view of, I don't know, it's fun, make movies are fun, to like, oh my God.
Oh, there's a lot going on here.
Oh my God. The girl that does the, how you call the
slate.
Slate?
Yeah, the slate. Yeah,
Slate.
Like
The
take
girl
one.
that does the slate,
Yeah.
I told all my friends, the girl that does the slate doesn't stop. Because she does that, she writes down, she gets like, everyone is working
She was our second.
non-stop.
Yeah.
Wow.
Amazing, man. It's I don't know, but what's crazy is when you get on set, it becomes magical. I think about making movies. To me, it's very magical. It's like inorganic. So I don't know, maybe that's just part of the way that I am, where you say I'm like stoic or calm or whatever. But I feel like in the movie process of movie making, it all just kind of comes together and just gets sums up, and that's what you got that day. Ed Westwick, who's in this movie, he said something to me that I thought was pretty cool. He was like, Jay, he's a British guy. I don't know why I'm doing his voice, but he said, he's like, it's so cool when, everybody shows up and they give their all that day, the actors, the crew, and at the end of that day, you got what you got, and that is the art of that day. It's like, oh, that's very interesting.
Very cool.
Because a lot of shit could go wrong or a lot of shit could go right.
Right.
Man, you took care of. So there's a scene in this movie. I'll set it up. We're in this parking lot scene,
Oh my
and
God.
again, it's all overnight because this guy. The
That
movie
scene,
starts like
I
4 p.m. and goes till 7 a.m. Basically, that's the movie, Overnight Odyssey. And we're in this parking lot where our Sebastian has to buy a gun. It's like he needs a gun now, so he's got to. He talks to a guy that's a bouncer at this bar. Actually, the first night was Higan Machado playing the role. So
super
Higan
cool.
Machado, John Machado, and Jean Machado's in the film in that scene. But Higan has a cousin or a brother-in-law or something that's a gun dealer. So our character has to meet this guy. And so I use you guys. I used Tony and I said, I need guns. I need a trunk full of guns, and I need them safe.
Yeah.
And like, look, we didn't have to do this, but we pulled the pins. You pulled the pins out of all the guns.
Yeah.
Because at the time, just it's optics. It's like people say it's optics on everything.
Yeah. People for that scene, when you watch the movie, you're gonna see it. There is no grabbing, touching, manipulating those guns at all. But I agree. I eventually agree with. I thought it was exaggeration at the time, but I eventually agree with Jason. But even then, we remove all the fire pins, so you could have ammo. You could cock those guns and pull the trigger.
Even though that wasn't even part of the script. I mean, the trunk pops and you see this spread of guns. Amazing,
so fun,
right?
Man.
Yeah.
I don't want to break that. People need to. I don't want to say what happened. It's so cool. That's why it's my favorite scene because it's so funny.
There was so many moments. You guys, Tony's a loader. I didn't know this about you. Actually, he's been reloading, knows ammo and grain and everything forever,
life, man.
right? Yeah.
Bro, they grew up building like explosive devices and everything. No, as kids, man, it's awesome.
The bullets, the lead, we did everything.
Yeah.
So I mean, I personally like
the lead,
blanks. Like, and I own a lot of blank guns from the previous films. Like Redstone, we shot all blanks, but the blank I needed, our hero gun was a 9mm. My blank guns shoot 8mm, so I don't have 9mm blanks.
Did a match.
I called Tony and I was like, I need some blanks.
That was funny,
And so he built the blanks for us. And I want to tell a story because the DP, Azariah, he's actually shoots guns sometimes, and he kind of like, when I told him about the blanks, he kind of had this look like he didn't trust or something. Like, man, you're like, what? I was like, so would you rather just buy a box of Russian ammo or Chinese ammo and you trust that over a guy that has been doing this his whole life to make this for us?
That I know personally.
Yeah, that I know personally, that I actually tested with.
Yeah.
Like, he actually showed me what he was building and we tested these, and then it was like, it made sense. Like, it was like,
that's cool.
That's true,
But it's funny, Jay, if we're not careful, it could be in any different scenarios in our life, we can say things without really deeply thinking about it, and they lack common sense, right?
I think we all do that, right? We kind of think a little bit too far ahead without, reflex. Thank you, Eva. It's just like a reflex without really taking a moment.
But when you have good friends, of course, in that sense, you're not only a good friend, talking to an intelligent person, because it's hard to talk to idiots. When you're talking to an intelligent person, you're a good friend, and you're also the producer. You need to make that work. So in that spot, you just say a few things. Man, you rather trust some ammo online from a Russian website or Chinese, blah, 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 or some guy. And it immediately made sense.
It clicks.
Yeah, it did.
It comes back to the bond that we have. And men search for that, I think. Men search for that bond.
Find those people and keep them in your life.
Yeah, because that guy, he might never need, it might never happen, but knowing that guy, if I'm in doubt of something important in my life, that might be only important to me, myself, maybe not even to him, but he'll give me the insight. He'll tell me something like, oh man, he just took away all this anxiety, all this, these doubts, because what you said, and which connects to that story at Rip Rock Ranch, that we have to bring the scale,
I was just waiting for that connection. I was waiting for that connection for I don't know how long now.
So we're going to bring this up.
Some minutes. It was a very good build-up.
He was delusional.
Very good.
I was delusional, but at the same time, I think I taught you guys a lesson.
You want to explain a little bit what we're talking about?
I want to explain it.
Okay.
Because I think I helped you guys level up as what real friends should be.
I agree.
Okay.
I agree.
Because you guys weren't being my real friend.
So we had to have the courage to tell you.
So maybe. I don't know if it's courage
No,
or
in that case, it
what
wasn't
it is. I
courage.
don't think it's
I was
courage.
gonna say like there's nothing fearful.
So
coming
we're
from-
training at Rip Rock at Melrose's private gym. We got jiu-jitsu mats there.
Yeah.
And I'll admit, at the time, I might have been a little bit heavy.
a little bit,
a little heavier than usual.
Okay, a little bit. Okay.
And you assholes went and fucking, it was Dave. He said, how much you weigh? And I said, I don't know, 205. Like, I thought it was my weight. And Dave's like, bullshit. You guys are like, bullshit. Dave went and got a scale, and you made me get on the scale. And I was like 223.
Well, yeah.
And it hurt.
On a generous scale. I remember it was a generous scale.
Yeah.
Like it's, Melrose's wife.
And you know what?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Fuck you guys for not. It's your fault, though. Like, 15 pounds ago, you should have said, Jay.
The funny thing was, the discussion was big. He's summarizing it.
Yeah.
First, he didn't want to get in scale, whatever.
Super defensive. Yeah.
Super, the discussion. And I got to a point I told him, I don't care anymore what numbers you think you are in your head. I'm looking at you. You a fat fuck.
Yeah. He actually said that. Yeah.
Okay, I take that.
Man, those are the friends you want.
Those are the
he said
friends
that.
you
He
want.
said
That's why I told y'all. I was like, fuck you guys. Like, you allowed this.
Yeah.
But you didn't. But yes, you have to be, you need to have those kind of people in your life.
But
right,
Jay, what
that will
happened?
tell you that.
That's what we.
What happened? It's not
No,
like
no.
What happened?
I'm going to a different point.
Oh, okay. No, I was like, I thought you were going to ask about the diet.
I was eating cake and ice cream and
No.
stress and
Of course,
starting a
you're
new
eating-
company
Yeah.
and like
Yeah.
dealing with friends like you.
Yeah.
Like, it's
No,
stressful.
no,
Cortisol makes you fat.
No,
and if I
I was
gotta
gonna-
talk to you, I get cortisol. Man,
I was gonna go to different route, which not different, but different. Not you're not the target. What happened to people at some point who prefer the comfort of not listening than reality? I would pay friends to tell me the truth.
yeah.
How much it costs for you? Please tell me,
Yeah.
Am I fucking up here? Should I do different? Should I go different,
Yeah.
And then the skewed view that you're the asshole.
Oh, that you're
to
the asshole.
friend. You're the asshole.
Yeah.
Like, how can you tell me this? When you're telling
Well,
the truth.
if inside you're not open enough to accept the problems, right? Like it comes back
But
to you
who is?
ultimately, right?
But who is? That I guess that's the question that Tony's
Like,
asking.
Yeah.
Who is ready to?
Bali called me today. Bali, you met Bali?
Bali.
You met Bali? Did
don't
he?
know.
The Brazilian dude that works with us, awesome guy that looks like he's Indian, and we call him Bollywood.
Because of Bollywood, the
Yeah,
Bollywood
I think
movies.
so.
I
No?
was sure that
Oh,
Jason
okay, he
met
looks
him,
like it,
but
yeah.
maybe Jason didn't. He's an awesome guy. He'll be
Okay.
here a few times. He's coming back soon.
Okay.
Awesome guy. He
Bali.
called me regarding a doubt or something that I was navigating, and I discussed in this work group about it. And he said, this, Tony, you send me how I call that? Not an article, a speech. I'm almost sure, actually, reading by Randy Rosell.
Mm-hmm.
Randy is a former Navy SEAL that actually has a cool podcast now.
You think he's got better audio than us?
Oh man, for sure.
He's got
Better
anyone we
writing?
get, anyone we get,
It's not that
including
hard.
you, if
Just say.
So I almost chose that, right? And Wally was reminding me of this portion of it that says, "You're gonna rate me first before you love me." And that's very interesting, It's like you're gonna learn before you learn to love me, something like that. Before you learn to love me, you're gonna hate me, which is the messenger will not tell you what you want to hear. Until you were right.
Yeah.
Thank you. The problem is when the messenger sees things and can be in one-to-one friendship or sometimes a bigger band or group, and the messenger tells things, the message, and the message gets understood too late, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then what is left? Just regret? Just,
Yeah.
oh, you were right. What is you were right? I don't have an ego to be right.
Yeah, like I wasn't like we weren't competing.
Yeah, exactly.
To
I'm
see
not
who
trying to
was
win.
right. I'm trying to be your friend here.
Yeah.
I don't know when people open up or decide, but like that moment was hard for me. I was like, I dropped quick, man.
Yeah.
I went straight away.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Just eating steak. I was just eating meat. I went on a carnivore and dropped quick.
Yeah.
And I actually got back on the scale to show myself, like, man, this
No,
is
yeah.
all right. Nice.
Yeah.
Start going back to jiu-jitsu.
But being
and
the
stuff.
man that you are, right? And sometimes I have doubts regarding that. So we should focus in feeding relationships that develop this kind of brotherhood and understand that some people, maybe unfortunately majority, just got so weak.
Maybe. I think it's super important, like you said, to form those brotherships, like those relationships where we're all like, you need a close group of brothers and you need a tight-knit group of friends that are going to be open and honest, right? Like that, to me, I don't know, like, even if I don't see you guys for, like, if you're traveling in Brazil or whatever, I don't see you. As soon as I see you a month later, 6 weeks, 2 months, it's like we never missed a beat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, that's a true friendship. Sometimes I don't see Melrose for a long time. He's traveling. The next time I see him, it's like we just saw each other 30 minutes ago and we're hanging out and talking.
My dad,
Like,
my family is not religious at all, right? At all. We weren't raised religious, but very spirituals. And my dad always believed in energy, something that connects people differently. Yeah, something above. Yeah.
Man, and if you're able to find that or get that feeling, man, hold on to it. That's my advice.
Yeah.
Like this little group, like, I don't know, it's just, it's special. It's very special. So.
And I'm trying to get to something. Of course, you can just say time will tell, right? Oh, time will tell who your friends are, who people in general are. But the thing that is insights that you can measure, like people that have problem being criticized, right? Is a sign, right?
Yeah. I definitely there's people that I thought were closer would be like protect me or say like defend me or whatever if something was spoken it wasn't true or whatever, that you just hope they would do that and then they didn't, and so it's kind of a letdown. But you thought they were there. I don't know, maybe that's in every relationship that we come around or that
Would
we're
you
in.
trust a friend that doesn't talk much? The conversations are only in the good matter.
The ones that never tell you the bad?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, everybody's going through something, right?
Right.
So.
And the closest you are, the more you should know about each other, right?
Yeah. Like when I was fat, you told me. I didn't know seeing myself in the mirror.
Yeah, it might sound like it is funny, but it's not a joke.
No, exactly.
It's actually much deeper.
It was more because I saw that you guys cared enough to shame me to getting back to the place where I needed to be.
But takes a deeper level of intelligence from your side. I don't want to give you that, but it takes, right?
Maybe, yeah. I'm sure it does. It also takes a different level from your side to do it from the friend side.
Well, but there is a difference. I always kind of thought about that. There is a difference between the mocking just to mock. And I'm mocking you because there is a lesson here. I don't want you that way. Right?
Yeah.
It's like, for instance, I don't even know how to do that. I never mock someone with a birth defect. Something that you just have the problem, unless it's a joke because of the intimacy. I work with blind people in the school, in university times. We had a program that we had was sports stuff, and we have to work this specific, kind of like a soccer for blind people. They actually play with their hands, and they are blind, but some are not complete blind, so they all wear
a baffle to
Yeah.
cover, so they're completely blind. Yeah,
Yes.
no cheating. Yeah.
And the ball has like the
Like a
snake.
rattle.
A rattle, like a rattlesnake.
yeah.
And those people, once you get into them, they mock each other a lot regarding their own deficiency. Okay, that's different. But my point is, that is the mocking just to kind of like in a humiliate sense, just to make fun.
Right.
And that is the mocking that I think intelligent brotherhood people do to each other, which can be actually way worse than the other one with that intention. Actually can be very, very hard.
Very hard. Yeah.
It goes
But in a
deeper,
sense to get you back on spot,
Yeah.
right?
In a healthy sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
And somebody from outside probably sees that and they're
Yeah.
like, "Oh my God, these guys
Man,
are
I
super
had-
assholes."
Bro, I had friends. Man, he called me big brother, right? Forever. And I wasn't mocking him. Was never mocking. I was never proving his relationship with the girl that he was having. And he asked me in the beginning. And we're so close, Jay. You know, when that close, it's like, man, I'm going to tell you, bro. I might not tell you everything, but if you open that. And the guy stopped talking to me. And he's not even with the girl anymore.
Yeah.
So what is left? Just embarrassment? It's just embarrassment
That's
left?
pride, right?
Just
That's
pride.
just pride.
That's
That's
pride.
just in your way. And
That's pride.
I mean, look, for me, I mean, you guys too, going to jiu-jitsu school, it's like the ego has to be lost right
Yeah.
away. Like that's the motto of the Machados, right? Leave your ego at the door.
Which is cool, yeah.
Because once you do jiu-jitsu, you realize that, oh, this guy could kill me.
Yeah.
And then like you learn, once you get a superpower of jiu-jitsu, you're like, oh, I could kill him. I don't need to do anything.
But how you
I don't
measure
need to react in a
Jay,
crazy way.
And this is what I'm gonna ask. It's applicable in anything, like in the movie industry, right? How will you measure that feeling with not overkill your self-confidence, right? That's tough, right?
Yeah.
We like to say in jiu-jitsu, the blue belt think he's God, you know? And then the purple belt's like, oh man, fuck this, man. It's a long road of stuff. And you got the black belt kind of proud, but not really.
Right.
Like, oh,
It's
man.
another level.
A black belt's a weird belt. It's like, okay, I'm a black belt. Cool.
Well, because now you're like defending this time that you
Yeah.
put in to get this belt. And you're like, man, I can't lose anymore because I won't be not eligible, but I'm not worthy of this thing, right? Like, I don't want to feel like that. So
What happened to people that they don't have the feeling of being worth, you know? They don't need to be worth
they don't need
anymore.
to be,
Right?
yeah.
Wow. We should be fighting for that every day.
Yeah.
Worth your friendship, worth my job, be worth of, you know, my family even, you know?
Yeah. I don't know. I wish everybody could train jiu-jitsu, and
That helps.
It does. I think
A
it helps,
lot.
or something. Just get involved in something that gives you a little bit more purpose.
What is we have jiu-jitsu in common, we have guns in common.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about the guns and the hunting that take to you know, a lot of cool experience, take to two properties that we go hunt that mainly is with you. In both, one is Melrose, our really good friend Melrose. But what do you think that in these two, I call both martial arts? The gun, firearms, and the fist. They are martial arts, right? Guns, weapons, tools, and jiu-jitsu, the body, the leverage, I consider all martial art. What do you think is lacking that all these big podcasters or influencers, whatever, you know, some are very cool, very intellectual, very good people. What do you think is lacking in the message behind that, you know? Like, for instance, the gun. The gun thing is so easy, you know? The gun thing is like, I don't care what you think or what you believe.
Yeah.
I'll always have guns.
Yeah.
It's like, that's number one message, you know? I don't care what you think. It's fine that you don't want any gun, that you don't believe in personal protection. I will always have tons of guns and ammo. I will.
Yeah.
For many reasons, I love guns, just to look at it, just to play with it, just to dry fire, which we do mostly. Just play, just to show a friend, look at this gun, man, I got.
Yeah.
Look at this one, it was from my grandfather. So the guns aspect, I don't get any political anymore. I exhaust that on my 20s. It's like, I don't care. I will have it. I don't care.
I mean, I think it's cool too when you get to that point where you still can have empathy towards somebody that doesn't.
Totally.
You're like, that's your life, and you live your life that way. I'm going to live my life this way. And I'm not going to beat you up for that. And
Jay,
you don't beat me up.
You want to hear more? Guys like us, even though you might not deserve it, because when your dignity is not important for you to protect from a threat that is more violent, you might not even deserve what I'm going to say. But me, you, and Ives, I guarantee we would protect any
100%.
unknown person
I always,
suffering a violent attack or anything.
I have friends, I have business partners, they're not gun people, or had, or work with people very close to people that just don't understand or see it at all. But I would still save their life if I could, if I could protect them and I had.
It's funny because their lives can be saved, but their dignities cannot be saved by.
And they don't. They will never get it.
Their dignity, they don't have it themselves.
They'll
Nobody
never
else
get
can
it.
give it.
It's the people that.
That's why Jeff Cooper always mentioned that dignity is more important than our own lives.
Yeah.
You know,
so.
Dignity is more important in our own lives.
I noticed some people on set working with movies through obviously Jason. I don't know if I ever told you this, Ives. I noticed that the feeling there for some people is they want you to be a black belt. They want you to be armed, but they don't want to know.
Yes.
Don't tell me about fighting or about the gun that is in your waist. I actually don't want to even feel it. I don't want to. When you hug me, I don't want to feel that you have a gun. But I want to be protected.
But I need you to be there if it goes down. So
crazy.
It's literally that. You've had an experience kind of like that. I remember he was giving a private sort of consultancy to a very, very wealthy family in Dallas.
That's true. I think I know what you're talking about.
And he was, because you erased from your memory. But he was, he was showing a handgun.
No, it's because I'm not that not important. I'm not that not busy asshole. Maybe it could be one of my 120 just last month.
That's right.
I did one asshole. Okay, go ahead.
No, but that one specific. You've had quite a few, but I'm saying the one specifically. I think he's showing.
I'm still not sure what he's talking about.
Well, he's not either. His son just gave him another pour, so maybe we'll get it together.
Please stop. He was showing a handgun, and then eventually, when he was, and the lady was okay, just like with the handgun, like
exactly
for the sheer size of it was okay. It was like, this appears to me quite cute, but then when you show a long gun, it's like literally, don't bring this. It literally provoked a reaction, physical reactions, a repulse. And okay, man, feel, like he said, feel whatever you want to feel. It's all good. But in the deeper sense, it's like, okay, so you've chosen where to be in a society. You've chosen where to be when it comes to the protection of your own life. Mm-hmm. You've chosen. I have chosen too. We have chosen, right?
Yeah.
But when you see that decisiveness to be, which you can call it whatever, but if sheep or I don't like any of those. But that decision to be what to need somebody else to protect you.
Yeah.
It's so sad, man.
So I learned from.
You've seen it quite a few times.
Oh, man. In that specific case, I know exactly what you're talking about. Very wealthy, mm-hmm. and very intellectual. That person, that lady is a doctor.
Yeah.
Okay. And very sweet. Very sweet. Very sweet. And Texan, 100% Texan.
Sure.
Texan family. Actually, her father, I remember right now, was the one kind of pushing to it. You gotta be, was during the Corona, COVID crazy times. You gotta have your gun, this and that. You gotta learn all. Her dad, original Texan, was. And then Yves is right when we're talking about the pistol, how to unload, see if it's load, was okay, okay. When it came to the AR,
Then you bring the AR
which
out,
is a
like,
much easier gun to manipulate, to aim, to
and not shoot yourself.
Which is, by the way, the gun next to my wife's, side of bed. Yeah. That's the gun my wife would defend herself and our family.
Yeah.
Especially when I'm not here. Yves is right. The story is exactly that. She freaked out and she literally said, "I told him already, the husband, to put this up somewhere, like to hide it."
I cannot see that.
And I explained to her how, were more safer, easier to shoot, easier to handle. It didn't work on that sense. It didn't work. And I will tell you, I don't think they want anymore the consistency of that training. That was just without any shooting, was actually in their home, in their house. But the experience I had, even being the profession that I am, used to different situations, I felt that I don't want to be here again. Because this is the type of person that you can give the tool, but they will never have the will. This is a coward, and cowards are usually not good character. They are usually, cowardice come from the weak, and the weak is very dangerous. And these people will put their family in danger.
Yeah.
Because they will expose them every time what the black belt gives to you. But the sense of, I don't want to be here. Man, bar fights? Who fights in a bar after being a black belt, right? It's like, unless it's straight self-defense.
Unless
like, man, the guy attacking me.
Oh, of course. But I think that's all of jiu-jitsu. When you're gunning up in jiu-jitsu, you don't need to.
Exactly. But people like that are dangerous.
Yeah.
And I believe throughout my career as a firearms instructor that I changed 99% of, but there is a 1% that is like, man, you're dangerous. You actually, stay away from guns, but stay away from everything. Stay in a bubble. Build yourself
the
a
weaker
gun safe.
you are, the more dangerous you are.
100%. 100%.
The
You're
more
volatile.
dangerous, you're right, to other people around you.
But I was going to ask you is, bringing back and bringing to jiu-jitsu. Because the good thing we can talk about forever, it's interesting, but it's very simple. What is lacking in the jiu-jitsu speech? Everyone talks about jiu-jitsu saved my life, jiu-jitsu this and that, which I understand.
It's true. I understand. It sounds cliche this way, but it's so true.
It is. It is a cliche, but it's true.
Yeah, I mean, it really is. It's very true. I don't know, Tony. I don't know what.
I know we don't really follow the podcasts and interviews. Yeah. We don't really care that much. But you think there is a message lacking?
I mean, today, what's lacking? I don't know.
A message the martial arts.
And I don't know. I mean, the only thing I would say
it's hard.
Yeah.
In it, right? With part of it is hard to talk about it.
I mean, I would just say we've gotten away from traditional, like where this kind of came from. I think we know less about the history of jiu-jitsu now and the Gracie family and the guys, the pioneers of jiu-jitsu, not just the Gracies, but others that came before and how it became, and I get it, I mean, it became a sport and like, there's some great guys. I mean, Gordon Ryan's a friend. I love that guy. Love to watch him compete. The GOAT. Craig Jones, funny as hell. I don't know, man. I mean, I don't know. Maybe because I'm too close to jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
I understand what you're saying. But you got a good point, and I agree. I don't know if this is correct, but is tradition ever ugly?
Is tradition ever ugly?
Yeah, like because we got away from the tradition.
Yeah, we got away from the tradition.
Maybe
I guess it's evolution, I guess.
That is evolution,
of what jiu-jitsu is. But I think if you don't learn tradition, then that can be a dangerous thing because maybe you try to berimbolo somebody in a bar fight, and it's like not the right move, but you've been doing berimbolo
Okay.
a long time.
No, I understand.
I don't know.
I understand.
I think there's
took it-
values that should be taught
Yes.
that are not probably being taught.
Yeah.
Right? So you're really going at it straight as from a sports aspect.
Well, but I'll tell you, yeah.
athlete aspect, and instead of the values and tradition of why this was actually created.
So men, then I'll ask you this. So men change the way they appreciate practical things, including martial arts. For instance, you can be a sports champion, including UFC, but the way you win is not the way you would survive.
True. Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
And tradition would be more connected to survive.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. The values would be applicable outside of just jiu-jitsu or competition,
Or-
to life.
Yeah.
Right. So. Yeah.
I think it was a question for him, but I think tradition would only be ugly if it was ever wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
And look at
Yeah, I mean, Good
look
point.
at
Good
look
point.
at this, but the tradition of jiu-jitsu that you're talking about, we know very well.
Yeah.
Wow. We all
it's
start because
not-
of that.
The roots. Yeah.
Yes, it's not wrong.
Right.
And it's what
Exactly.
should be. So it's more than
Good point.
tradition, right?
Yeah.
It's more
Good
like it's almost like the core of a discipline.
I got you.
know?
It's like
But-
mathematics is mathematics.
Yeah.
How to build a bridge is how to build a bridge.
I mean, if you want to
Yeah.
color it in
Yeah.
whatever colors you want, I want rainbow colors in my equation.
Fine. Yeah, fine.
But the equation is there, man. There's a reason. There's a result that is unequivocal, And I think that with jiu-jitsu, I think it's that,
Man, I've always had these thoughts. Like, I think we talked about this before. Like, I'm comfortable around guns. I grew up hunting. My dad actually, you don't know the story. He was in Vietnam. My freaking dad. He wasn't a
That's
ground
so crazy.
trooper. He flew with a group called the Stingers. And he flew in an AC-119. He was a gunner in a gunship. And they would just fly circles and then lay down firepower. And their plane took fire before. He had friends that he lost. I'm actually working on a documentary on the Stinger
I'm
group right
always
now.
curious to how high up do these gunships fly?
Not high enough.
Not high enough.
Bullets can hit you.
Especially in those days, I'm thinking, nowadays you probably have capabilities that are different.
Yeah, but
in
no, they
those
were
days,
they were getting shot. They were getting shot and landing with holes in their wings and stuff. But so he's a guy that is not. He's crazy. Like I can't imagine. I asked him one time. I said, "Why did you join the Air Force?" And he said, "Because I didn't want to get drafted and go to Vietnam." I said, "But then you volunteered to go to Vietnam."
Yeah.
He goes, "Yeah, because I hated the cold. I was stationed in Michigan."
That's
and he
funny.
volunteered to go.
That's funny.
Anyway, so years later, whatever, he comes back. I'm born. He's a hunter. He's hunting, and this was way before he didn't talk to us or take us hunting or anything. That was his thing. And something happened. A bullet hit a tree nearby where he was. He hunted on base, on Barksdale Air Force Base. They let hunters. They have a whole area for hunting. And he came back. I do remember him selling all of his guns. Sold all of his guns except for a handgun for protection, but sold his shotgun, sold his rifles. And I think came a point where I survived Vietnam, but I'm going to come home and get killed and just hunting. And so I didn't actually learn hunting from my dad, but I knew he hunted. So I kind of had this idea of hunting. But I had some friends that, one of my friends' grandfather took him hunting all the time. So he invited me to go hunting. And that's kind of actually how I learned hunting. And we went deer hunting in the same place where my dad used to hunt. And we went squirrel hunting all the time. And I was always still, as a young kid, around guns.
Yeah.
So it was never a weird thing for me. And I think some people that never grew up with a gun in the house, or maybe they didn't know there was probably a gun in the house, but they didn't know there was a gun in the house.
Yeah.
And they became
Curiosity.
anti-gun stuff. I don't know. But it was never something I was afraid of. So culturally, I say that because I was thinking about, in junior high, I had a hunter safety course where we
that's
actually
so cool.
learned the hunting, and the rules, and we learned how to treat guns and these things. And I think if you did that For people, it would be a different thing. Much like if you made everybody do jiu-jitsu for like 2 years in their life as a teenager, man, the world could be a way different place.
Well, the sheiks in Abu
They're doing
Dhabi, you know,
Man, they
Dubai,
understood
the
that.
Emirates in general, they figured that out.
Super smart, right?
Yeah.
Like, talk about building like a good group of humans.
Yeah. And you know why, of course, you know, but just quickly, that is the saying, right? They came from, how you call Bedouins?
Bedouins. Yeah.
Bedouins.
Bedouins.
Like people, you know, very poor in the desert. Then they evolved to millionaires, and the millionaires have kids. And that's a problematic generation
Yes.
right now.
Yes.
And that's when they start introducing
interesting.
jiu-jitsu. And yeah.
And it's not just that. You can look at countries like Switzerland where everybody has to, they get a rifle and they join
yeah.
the military,
Oh, yeah.
right? And you look
yeah.
at how the people are. So
Yeah.
it's not just jiu-jitsu, but you give
Actually,
somebody a purpose, and especially at that age, 18 to 20 years old, make them serve, make them do something that gives them
Yeah.
a purpose, because that's like the most dangerous time I think of a human's life.
to do something
Like to do something stupid.
irresponsible,
right?
stupid.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, actually,
Because
I
the
heard
brain's
from a
not
Swiss
developed.
guy. We were together, and he said a polite society is an armed society, right? A Swiss guy told us, and that sense of understanding the tool, the power, will breed the opposite of who doesn't understand it, doesn't belong to this environment. Believe will actually make you a peaceful, calm, respectful person. Same with that's why I call both martial arts, right? Obviously. Well, think about back in the samurai was a martial art. Swords, firearms. Samurais use firearms for centuries, right? And the jiu-jitsu, the fighting. So understanding martial art make you more respectful, more peaceful, more polite. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's something that should just be a natural, normal thing that happens in our lives.
Yeah.
Taught in school. So,
But the values in society change radically. Like maybe now, I don't know what society values, right? Like we try to teach our kids old values, tradition that was always right. But now, but my friend has a nicer car or nicer something, right? The buying, the power of buying and impressing maybe the girls with money.
yeah.
It changed a bit, right? It's funny because my family, you know, not poor, but middle class.
Yeah.
And my friends were all more wealthy. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I never felt below them because I had jiu-jitsu. And the guns. Yeah.
Oh, but I think having the jiu-jitsu, for me, it's, I don't know, it makes it a level playing field no matter where you are because of the confidence, I guess. It's not an ego thing.
No.
But I don't go in, and I hang around a lot of guys that have a big wealth. And
Yeah.
it doesn't, I don't know. It
You don't
doesn't
feel anything.
I don't feel
Exactly,
anything. They treat me
jiu-jitsu give you
normal. I
that,
treat
yeah.
them normal, and it's like,
And people, Jay, your experience in the industry, right? Probably it's not, it's an uncommon martial artist, hunter martial artist. And actually might happen a lot of times the opposite that we expect. They probably like, man, that's so cool, right? They probably kind of envy you in a sense. Man, you're a black belt, that's very cool.
maybe. I don't know.
I
mean,
think so.
I've helped guys get into training. I think it's a duty to do that as a
It's a
jiu-jitsu
duty,
guy.
yeah.
I don't know. You start bringing people because you love it so much. Everybody else is going to love it too.
Gospel.
Spreading the gospel
Yeah.
with jiu-jitsu. That's a good one.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but I don't know. You meet people. I have a business partner now who, Steve Jenna. You guys know Steve. He
Steve,
runs
awesome.
a company.
You introduced Steve to jiu-jitsu?
I like to think I was part of it. There was another guy that was training jiu-jitsu during COVID. When COVID shut down everything, they did some mats at the Specialists up in New York.
Okay.
And did some private
They
stuff.
got some mats there.
But when Steve was coming here to hunt, we would do shit like get in the guard in the deer blind.
Ah, that's
we
so
have this
funny.
9 foot or 8 foot by 8 foot deer blind, and we always had this joke like he's like, because I would try to show him something, and we're like packed in a deer blind
That's
with
funny.
guns around. And I said, and Jasper, who's like working the ranch, like, what if Jasper comes by right now?
Yeah,
We're
what
like,
is guy-
is he
that's
gonna think that
sexual?
we're doing something in the
that
blind?
blind was
Shaking.
coated. No, it was coated with I think some birds got in there.
Oh, that was
Remember
later.
that?
But
That was
yeah,
later,
but I had
okay.
wood floors down in the blind. I had nice wood floors in the blind. It was the coolest blind in Texas.
That was a cool blind, yeah.
The Punisher blind, yeah.
Good Punisher.
But we would do like a little jujitsu shit in there
That's
while we were
funny.
hunting.
That's
you
funny,
know,
yeah.
like,
That's funny.
and always talking about jujitsu and stuff.
That's
and now,
so cool.
and Steve's, I mean, he's been on a jujitsu journey now for like 4 or 5 years.
That's so cool.
His wife is into it
Yes,
and
yes,
like
yes, we just talked.
super into it.
Wow.
So now he has no choice but to keep training because she's gonna beat his ass if
Oh, yeah.
he stops. So
Jay, you said that you had the feeling. I like to feel that I was part of it, and of course you were, and you're still part of it because he comes over, we talk jiu-jitsu,
Yeah.
we train. Why do you think we have that? Why do you think we have the feeling of, man, this is so good for me. You need to do it.
but that's it.
We always want to drag.
because you actually see what the changes it makes in your life. So
But why, as humans, we are divine creatures? We are, you know what I'm saying? It's not what they try to say. They try to say that humans are horrible. My dog is the best thing. I never agree with that shit. You know, don't give food for your dog. It's gonna eat you alive.
if you die, your dog will
Yeah,
eat
it's
your toes.
gonna eat you. He doesn't
That's
remember.
an animal. I mean,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I just had to put my dog down, but I love my dog. But I know if I died, I expect
Exactly.
my
I
dog
had-
to eat me.
we always had the animals
Yeah.
growing up. One of the dogs, actually, I was already an adult, 20-something years old, and I cried like a little
Oh,
girl,
man.
man, when the
Yeah.
dog died.
That
You
was
know, it was
hard.
a
It's
story
been
that
hard,
the
yeah.
dog suffered
Yeah.
and it was bad. That's not the point. The point is they try to demold human beings, this divine creature, comparing to wild animals, you know, irrational animals, which is ridiculous. It's senseless. And going back, the proof that we are divine and connect to each other through real love, the human race love. We love another human, man. Is that we feel almost obligated to introduce not only our friends, if we have in a chat that a guy that we just met and he gets curious about jiu-jitsu, for instance, we are willing to teach the guy for free. We're willing to drag the guy.
We're willing to open your house and say, "Come sleep here." You don't even know this guy.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's
Man.
weird. It's a little bit like that with hunters too. That was my story with Steve before jiu-jitsu. I met Steve in New York in freaking Soho. They had an office down there. I walk in. I had some gun sites at the time I was trying to get promotion, you know, marketing with. And man, he gave me a tour. And after the tour, it was with my family, my wife, my daughter. We were all on a tour. He was so awesome. Maybe it's also the gun thing. And I said to him before I left, it's like, dude, you should come to Texas and go hunting. Let me take you hunting. And he'd only been hunting one time before that. He was like, okay, I'll go.
That's so cool.
He tells his family he's going to go to Texas. And they're like, what? Are you crazy? The guy's crazy. He's going to kill you. And now we're business partners. I mean, it's like a
That's
tradition
so
now
cool.
over a decade. And
That's so cool.
you're right. But you loving and compassion and
Yeah,
sharing
but
that.
you took deeper. You took further. You took to the warrior culture. I was just generally speaking as humans, but you took to the warrior. What bonds us is the warrior, the survival, the again the guns, the fighting.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, it might any bonds us watching a game, football game. Of course, I believe in that,
Yeah.
but nothing like the warrior.
Not like primal stuff.
Yes.
Sleeping in 18-degree
Yes.
weather and trying to survive.
Yes,
And
America's a different
cooking
people,
and-
and we are so, you know, proud of this culture. I'll tell you that I think the key thing is the hunters, the hunting culture.
Yeah. I think it's important that we keep this going. Like
Yeah.
that scares me a little bit in the little research I've done about, but I know it's fallen off 100%, right? So it's our duty, much like teaching our friends or telling people about jiu-jitsu, is to try to get people to hunt too.
Yeah.
So,
And we have a social obligation when it comes to the system, the ecological, ecosystem.
True, and I think most people don't even look at that, right? People that don't know hunting or don't do anything outdoors related, like there is a full ecosystem that we need to help support and grow. So
no one is taking pleasure in the killing of the animal. That's not what it is.
No.
But the preservation of the species, of the preservation of the good genetics, of the of predator control,
which actually saves humankind if you think about it.
And it saves
the good
species.
genetics of the species.
It saves species. We're
Actually,
from Brazil.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I never talked about this. I'm not happy killing the animal by the animal death.
No.
That has nothing to do almost. And that is if you think of and of the guy that's purely a hunter that goes and spends weeks and super tough that's you can't even measure what percentage that is.
How many times we went to hunt and we didn't kill anything?
Yeah.
And that was predator hunting. That was actually hawks,
that was hawks,
which is different subject.
Different,
Even the most weak person would say, "Oh, but we know some animals we need to control because they kill all my lettuce." Something like that. They kill my tomatoes.
Yeah, that's right.
And still, the hunting, the experience was that bond, right?
Yeah, of course.
Primal, like you said.
Of course.
Mm-hmm. And in the back of our evolution brain, telling us, wow, man, we need to bring food home. We need to, it didn't work today. What are we going to do? Let's reassess. Let's talk about it. Let's sleep. Let's.
Yeah.
How can we get smarter than the animal?
Yeah.
Get thermals.
Get thermals.
But that's all for a reason too.
But it's all conservation.
It's conservation, and it's like when you go to the specific shooting of the animal, it's what you train for is like that. It's going to be as fast as possible, the best shot as possible.
That's right.
Not zero suffering.
Exactly.
You want to hit vitals for them to drop as quickly as possible. So it's completely against the knee-jerk reaction that people have. That if they just do a little bit of common sense, it's like, no, these guys, it's usually, it's mostly just older animals, etc. It's really to keep them there.
I think if you study a little bit, anyone, right, like a lay person in that matter that maybe doesn't even like guns, if you study a little bit, will feel obligated to become a hunter.
Yeah.
That's how important it is.
Also for the quality of the meat that you're bringing to your home.
Oh my God.
Nowadays, man, like we know, so it's that one, where it's coming from, the animal,
Well, it almost goes back to this we were talking about earlier, where we would save the life of somebody else that's a non-gun person. Is like if we're killing some pigs for a rancher because they have a lot of cattle out there, they don't want cows to get broken legs, stepping in holes or whatever. So that meat could get to the table for these people. Think about it. And I was reminded by the time we went out one time, and I think there was 5 of us, and we saw one big giant pig, and we all took our time. We did a countdown to shoot, and it was like unison. It was like every round must have hit that pig right in the shoulder, right in the heart at the same time. And Henrietta,
I remember.
Yeah,
and it was like
it was us 3 Melrose and somebody
we're all
else.
like good shooters.
I think. Or Batata.
No, I don't think Ivan. It was Jared, you, me, Melrose, and
Jared.
Tony.
So that's us, Jared and Melrose. Us, Jared and Melrose. That's the group.
That's right.
And it was like the pig just died like that. But imagine it was like good shooters, trained, counted down, boom, pig just shot. It wasn't.
But the lack of it's not. Of course, it's common sense, but it's also minimal level of intelligence in some, not some, but unfortunately a lot of people nowadays is that they would love meat, but not like hunting for some reason.
I know.
That's crazy, right? That's crazy.
I know.
And they actually
it's an out of sight, out of mind thing. Like nobody wants to go see how stuff is processed, but they'll go to the grocery store and just trust the meat is handled super safe.
And Jay, I'm not against big farms with hundreds, thousands of cows that end up going to the grocery shop.
Yeah.
I'm not against it, but if I have to feel bad about an animal, it's that one that's
sure.
born and raised
Yeah.
to die instead of the one that a hunter
Yeah, man.
will kill in the perfect nature. It doesn't know when it's gonna die even. And it's
1,000,000%.
usually at an age that is older age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything's so beautiful.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Yeah.
like it was.
That's a
Imagine
full
that.
cycle of life.
It was planned already.
We
This
talk
world
another
was
day,
like that.
right? An animal that would be killed by its own band because it's in an older age usually. So it would
Yep.
be actually. The funny thing is, people think it's like the Disney movies. They kiss each other, and the Bambi and the deers fly.
Yeah.
I remember seeing. I don't remember where we were, but seeing these deers having a fight,
Oh, bro.
so violent, man, with the horns, like
Yeah.
pa pa
Yeah.
pa pa, and I was like, bro.
Yeah.
It actually was good to see that because gave me awareness. You know, if this deer is too close to me, that's actually very dangerous.
Yeah.
He can spike that
For sure.
that horn, and so an older
is.
deer will be killed
Yeah.
sometimes by its own band or
Yeah.
some other animal, whatever it is. Right? The hunter comes on that spot, gives the right perfect shot, kills him immediately, eats that meat.
It's
Oh,
way
my-
more humane
cycle.
than
Oh
the
my
other
God.
side of
Man.
animal cruelty, right? Which is animals against animals. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how to like you fix that. I don't know.
Yeah, it's sad.
Oh, I
And
guess-
maybe the problem's not as big as we think either. Like there is this big media machine that says a lot of things that I don't think 80% of the people agree with. So, or no.
Yeah,
Like,
but
maybe
sometimes it's not
maybe
even
it's less.
the widespread word in terms of global or country or state. You know, we need to bring that back to our kids. You know,
Yeah.
to our
It needs
lives.
to be.
Well,
My dad. No, go ahead.
No, something I learned that surprised me is Brazil doesn't have any.
I was gonna
hunting,
tell you that.
bro. Like
Crazy story.
Jay, I grew up.
crazy.
I will tell you that my dad. I grew up with my dad. So my dad was a big brains, big boss for law enforcement south of Brazil. I was cross training, coming to the U.S. a lot, doing tactical intelligence training, and now he's using the U.S. as a role model, which it is for law enforcement, for any area that you wanna develop deep with big brains, devoted people. Man, there's a huge chance it's gonna be here,
Yeah.
right? And he always told me this: America, it's America. The United States, because they don't give an inch back. He meant to the main government, the centralized government. They don't give. Once they have a right, they have a right. And in Brazil history, the recent history, it's the opposite. It's always giving away those rights. And we got to a point that for sure 100 years ago, 60 years ago, whatever it was, I'm not sure when, hunting was a common practice in Brazil. And since before my generation, our generation, hunting's not allowed. It's illegal.
Your whole generation, hunting wasn't
My
allowed.
whole generation, way before my whole generation. And I learned from my dad as a kid that he thinks Brazil is the only country like that. That hunting-
Was he allowed to hunt as a kid? Your
No.
father?
No.
Not that I recall.
So we're talking like
Not that I recall.
It was
yeah,
years
yeah, yeah.
It was even removed from the culture. If
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
so-
It's not.
So what we know is, right, by being Brazilians, is that Brazil, which such a beautiful wildlife, allegedly, has the biggest wildlife in
In extinction.
extinction, or either extinction, fully extinction, which is a bunch, several,
Right.
or very close,
close
to
to
extinction. Even with the Amazon or everything.
without
can-
any hunting in
We-
the most beautiful
Well, yeah.
jungles in the world,
So-
animals are close to
So when you
extinction.
study a little
Predators.
bit, right?
Predators.
When you research a little bit, what you learn is hunters together with biologists, with all these scientists behind it,
That's a good point, actually, to let the audience know that it's not just the hunters. There is a full system of biologists, preservationists, conservationists that are working together to keep
and we
the
finance
animals alive.
hunters finance. We
That's
pay
right.
our hunting license every year.
Yeah.
We finance all these scientists to study. Each year is different study, and to measure exactly which species we are hunting more or less, or it's sometimes not even hunting. This species don't hunt. Wait next season. So
if you look at a doe tag, it could drop from 3 to 2 for 1 year for a certain region, right? Just a region, just to get them back or whatever. So
it's so beautiful, man. So
it's a lot more than just like, let's go kill. Like the idea of it is.
When men stop hunting, right? Nature lost the biggest predator. So there is a balance, beautiful nature, divine balance that was working throughout mankind history. And with the industrialization of we can buy meat, we can do this and this and that, we stop hunting out of necessity. We basically today can hunt because we are part of the system. We believe that we are important, or because we just want, right? And that balance is beautifully done here in the whole Europe, actually most of South American countries, I would say all, but Brazil. And Brazil, the biggest country in the South America, one of the biggest countries in the world, has such a lack of nature balance, wildlife balance, because we don't have hunters.
Dang, it's so
It's
crazy.
insane. People don't know that. No one knows that. Yeah.
Do you think that would ever change back? Like,
I start saying that, actually you provoke, but I start thinking about that because you provoke, and then you end up asking, right? But the reason I start thinking about is because you said something like how we change, or what we do to get for the better, get more. And I'll tell, my dad always told me, gaining rights, it takes generations, sometimes many hero lives, sometimes revolutions and war to gain rights. To lose it is just a distraction. Just while you're on your phone, you're losing rights. So I don't think we get back to that there. Yeah.
there's like no high fence, private hunting or anything like that.
The only thing that there is a little bit of pigs.
Pigs,
Yeah,
but that's
pigs.
invasive species. Pigs,
Invasive,
so,
but
that's not like
but
and
but
it's
get
still,
your own game.
And it's still the regulations on pigs is ridiculous.
crazy,
Like for
crazy.
instance, I don't think you can eat something like that.
Yeah.
Definitely you cannot sell. You hunt a pig and you cannot make it a business at all. So
That's so wild, man. Actually, here I was just talking to somebody recently, and maybe it was my buddy Mark, because he has some land. He actually bought that land that we hunt over next to
Oh, that's
Melrose, and he has
cool.
these professional predator hunters come.
we talk about maybe buy.
Well, these guys are friends with some ex-NFL guys that want to start a nonprofit for all the pig hunters. They want to build a processing plant in different areas where there's a lot
So
of pig
cool.
hunting, so the pigs can actually be dropped off to feed the homeless.
That's
Oh.
cool.
Like that's
That's
a really
cool.
killer idea,
Yeah.
because I imagine everybody that shot pigs would totally take pigs over
yeah.
if they
Yeah.
were edible pigs
Yeah.
to feed. Like,
Yeah.
what a great idea!
Great
That's
idea.
a great idea.
Because there's so many pigs.
Yeah.
No, it's
would-
insane.
And how
It would
funny,
do a lot.
right? You can trust we would trust, any conscious person would trust 100 times more a pig, which is considered a hog, which is considered maybe a lower taste,
Yeah.
whatever, maybe, than any premium meat on a supermarket. Please give me the wild pig that I know was living in the wild and not this full of antibiotics and vaccines, whatever,
jacked up,
animal, injections.
I don't know, that would be really cool to see that happen, though.
Yeah, that's a.
And I'm
That's
sure
cool.
that happens in other places, probably already established, but
Homeless
they want to do
people-
that here. So.
Homeless people definitely eat way healthier than most of Americans.
Most of them walking around with gout now
Yeah.
because
Yeah,
they
it's-
ate all the
it's
pigs.
Very, very novel idea, man. I like
It's
it.
cool, right? Like, I mean, I think that's a smart idea, and
Yeah.
it's so
Do
many.
you have
things.
any connecting or personal life and professional life? You think of projects that would blend?
Buy-in?
No.
What do you mean?
No. Projects like we just talk about hunting a lot. It's any hunting project with the movies, with the.
No, I mean I've got a couple movies.
What I'm gonna ask you, actually, what I like to ask you, I love documentaries. So you think of documentaries?
Well, I have one documentary that's in the works right now, and that's the Vietnam, and it's specifically about the Stinger group.
Wow.
This group of this plane, the AC-119, the gunship. So
your father,
my father. I went recently last year to a reunion. Actually, these guys, the ones that are still alive, hold a reunion for all the members, and I brought my father. I made him go. Like, I didn't want to go, but I made him go to see these guys. Cool. It was the first time I ever went, but this reunion's been going on for 20 years.
Wow.
So then I thought, man, if I'm taking you, I'm going to sit down with these guys and we're going to get some stories. And I got some killer stories. So I'm going to tell a story about this one group because the people in charge at the time, if you read the history of the 119, they thought it was going to be a failed thing. They didn't want to support it. They didn't want to support a plane shooting from the side, not from the front. It was a side gunner plane. But it changed the tone of the war. But people don't know this in history. So I just want to tell a story about that. There's some narrative feature films that I'm going to shoot. One of them is a true story. You should have him on the podcast, actually. Victor Avila. He's a survivor. In 2011, him and his partner, Jaime Zapata, were on assignment in Mexico. They were stationed in Mexico City. And they worked for ICE, Border Patrol, or not Border Patrol, but ICE, Homeland Security. Right there, I think, I don't know if Victor ever worked Border Patrol, but they worked the border a lot.
Yeah, together.
So, they were doing all these assignments. And while they had an assignment while stationed in Mexico City to drive to Monterey to pick up a carload of Suburban, a full truckload of gear. They didn't know what they were getting. To this day, they don't know what they picked up.
Wow.
Anyways, on the way back, they were traveling on Highway 57. Highway 57 there was a ban from the embassy to not travel on 57 unless you had an escort, armed escort.
Wow.
Victor's superiors made them go, and on the way back, they got roadblocked by the Zetas cartel. So 57 has more kidnappings and murders than any other highway in Mexico. It's controlled by Zetas, which is a massive organization of cartel. Started by Mexican Special Force military people. So they're actually well-trained cartel. And in that roadblock that happened, there was a big shootout and Jaime was killed. Victor was rescued after sitting trapped in the Suburban. But during the operation, the time being trapped, I think state police came by and drove off. EMT came, drove off. It was all cartel owned. So once he got out of there, got back to the States, healed up. I'm going to tell that story. So I wrote a script with a friend of mine, Doug Detweiler.
That's so cool.
We're going to shoot this movie, and it's an incredible story.
2011,
2011, yeah. It was actually only the second time in history a U.S. agent was killed in Mexico. So there was a law passed like 2018 or so. I'd have to go back and look the year, but it was Jaime Zapata and Victor Avila law that allowed the U.S. to go extradite people that hurt our people in other countries, right? So,
and that guy, it's live, told the story. He wrote a book.
Victor survived. He wrote a book called Agent Under Fire: A Murder and Manifesto. So and really, man, if you read it, and I read the book, so my brother-in-law introduced me to Victor. We had dinner, and then I read his book. I was like, man, this story needs to be told. And just chapter 7 was like him in the Suburban with Jaime, but like he tells the story pretty much of his career and the aftermath, which is really crazy because he wasn't treated very, very well by our government. So, which is sad. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Wow.
So, and that's not really what the movie's about, but some of that might come out in there. But definitely a guy that has a lot of intelligence. And
that's but that's not a documentary. It's a movie based on a true story.
Yes, exactly. It's a movie based on a true story. So I want to tell that story as a feature narrative.
Man, I'm excited.
So I'm going to direct it. We're working on it right now.
Where's it going to be shot?
Where we'll shoot it, I don't know.
But Texas?
Yeah, for sure.
Texas for sure?
Yeah, West
Man,
Texas.
I want to see that.
For sure, yeah. We're working on it right now. I've already shot a short torch to do the financial raise of it, and that's almost finished.
Okay.
And that'll be part of a website that we build to go get the backing to
Oh.
get this movie made. Yeah.
So, okay, that's very interesting. So you build a website, you show the potential.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much like a deck, like a movie deck to see and try to get, because I want to do it. I mean, look, obviously, I don't want to get a studio involved, but if I could get a distributor involved right away, then I know where we're going to be with the budget on this thing. And I want a healthy budget to make this movie to do it properly.
Justice.
Yeah.
But we talk about that, right, Jay, other days. Like if there was some sort of recipe or whatever, that you would have a loyal group of fans of your work and they would get together and like everyone tipping $1,000, whatever.
Yeah, because they trust you and they trust the story and they know
How
what you're
cool,
making.
right?
I think Angel Studios does that. They
Kinda
do
like
it
that,
very
right?
well. Yeah. So if you could get a group, then you could bypass like the
big-
actual system that is in place.
Yeah.
That's kind of hard to break into a lot of times.
For you, a movie traditional way to be successful today, I mean, obviously the movie, I'm not doubting your capabilities. The distribution side would be on a big streaming. That's what it is.
I think
For a movie maker, what it is a good deal is being on a big stream, Amazon.
like an
Netflix.
Amazon original or Netflix picked it up, and as long as they covered the cost of the film, everybody's happy, right?
Wow,
So
cool.
it's not like everybody needs to hit the home run and make
And for this business,
$100 million on a $50
and for these
million
big
movie.
guys, it's who you know a lot,
think
probably,
so.
right?
Yeah.
It's like everything else, right?
Everything else, yeah. It's who you know and get it done. So it's who you're going to put in it, who you're going to cast, how popular that guy is at the time. So it's a bit of luck. It's organic, man. That's how I feel
But
about
being on a
filmmaking.
big one like that, Amazon, Netflix, it means that you are hooked up, pretty much.
Yeah,
usually.
probably so, yeah. Or maybe you won some big award somewhere, so then you're the next best thing. So like they can use that to market and get people to watch.
And that deal ideally could be closed even before the movie start shooting.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, 100%.
interesting. Where's Tonic at this point?
Tonic is going to be
Tonic
released.
is a great movie, and
Yeah, man, Tonic should have been released over a year ago. We got into a bad situation with the sales agent. Luckily, from my previous experience of working with distribution, I was smart enough to put a cap on and put a milestone in place, like meaning you had to hit this, and this by these dates, or you lose the film.
that's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay,
And it was,
and that's this person that is actually selling the movie to you.
that's the guy,
So
the
that
sales
person-
agent.
So that person has to reach certain goals. Otherwise,
Yes.
hey, give me the movie back.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
Yes, exactly.
And you got the movie back.
100%. Yeah. I got the movie back. We're now with a different sales agent,
Okay.
which is also very connected with another big distribution streaming outfit. And so we're
Okay.
going to release the film finally.
Cool.
I
'Cause-
think it's going to be May.
Man, that's
Yeah,
so
this
cool.
year,
Can't wait
yeah.
to tell everyone.
Yeah, me too.
But Jay, Whitetail, you just said, I Seen Boom. They are all on Amazon, the big one.
Yeah, they're all on Amazon. Yeah, and they're all making money. They're all money
And that
trickles
doesn't,
in.
it's not because you got movies there already that you are set for your new movie. Not at all. It's not.
No, I mean it helps from the standpoint of a resume, like these people can get movies made and done.
But
because
doesn't
it's
guarantee
hard.
you.
Doesn't guarantee, but
Wow.
it does help me go into places and say, well, this movie we made for this much. It made this much. It's distributed by X, whatever.
So making a movie the way you make, Texan movie, you know, homemade here with your boys and all this.
Except for Boone. See what happened when we went to Washington?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, got in trouble. I mean, we finished it. It finished, and it's a good film, and it
And my
got out
point-
there. But
yeah, but my
I don't want
point
to do
in-
that again.
My point, including Boom, making a movie like that, is never a guarantee of getting your money back or stuff
No,
like that.
it's never a guarantee.
Wow.
Yeah, I think you can. It's a guarantee if you go into it before you make the movie. If you go into a deal with a pre-sales, and
Okay, which would
with
be
a
ideal.
distributor, yeah. Which is the way that I would do these next movies. Is let's pre-sell everything so we kind of know
How?
where we're gonna be. Like,
Okay.
you know, you give some room in there, 20%, 30% or whatever. But
So when you get a deal like that, you're getting probably less, but you have the deal.
But you know everybody's
Yeah.
going to be whole, which is
Okay.
the most important thing, right?
Okay.
Investors get whole, everybody's whole, everybody gets paid.
And that's crazy because the producer is dealing with
Everything, bro.
Wow.
Yeah.
From hiring the anyone,
Everything.
for hiring the security guy.
And actually, not even just that, but staying with the project 2 years later after it's done. Like 3 years. I was on when I picked up Eduardo today, I was on a call that I got, was from actually one of the financiers had passed away. And so the estate now owns, there's a guy dealing with the estate, and he didn't know what the deal was with the investment. So he called me out of the blue and was asking me questions. And so I gave him all the answers about it. And he's like, "Oh, this is great. Thank you for talking to me." And like, but this was 3 years later from the project. I mean, I'm still getting calls about, and this is a movie that's been out for 2 years.
Wow.
So
Man, that's a hard business, man.
yeah, you're still with it. I mean, most people I think probably just walk away, but try to do right, man. I mean, how hard is it to take a call?
You feel an extra, because you feel an extra sense of pride because it's the Texan product, mainly Texan.
Oh,
and
for Tonic,
outside of the
I
big.
feel like, yeah. This was a movie where we specifically, Derek and I, just wanted to do something the way we knew we could do it, like we did Whitetail, and Redstone as well, without the COVID. Although we still had to deal with COVID stuff for Tonic, I had to have a COVID officer and testing,
Yeah.
all this crazy shit.
Yeah.
Fucking nightmare. But we made a movie in Deep Ellum that's never been done. Deep Ellum's never been showcased in a feature
That's
film,
insane. I didn't
which
know
is
that.
crazy. And so now Dallas has a new film commissioner. I've been talking with her. She's fully behind supporting the release of it because we're showcasing Dallas in a way that's it's an awesome place to make
I
movies.
cannot believe Deep Ellum was never set.
I know.
This is unbelievable.
Yeah, it's crazy. There was a funny story. We shot in the Green Room, which is a famous bar in Deep Ellum. And there was a movie called The Green Room that came out about these Nazi skinhead guys that trapped these kids or people in a green room. They wanted to shoot there, and the guy said no. But that movie went on to be a huge hit. And so when we asked, it was like, yes.
I was saying that.
Absolutely yes. Like, why didn't I say
this.
yes before?
That's funny.
Yeah, man. But I don't know. Filming here was everybody was so film friendly. Like, and that's the other thing, right? If you go to a place that's not film friendly, it makes it hard to make a movie, which is already hard. But Dallas was wide open about us shooting there.
Okay.
I mean, they were pretty welcoming. So, and now we have a new film commissioner. She's like all about promoting Dallas. They're actually working on a fund separate of the Texas fund. So I don't know if you know this. Texas has legislation. I think it's SB 22. Don't quote me, but I know it's 22. And the name of the bill is Make Texas the Film Capital of the World.
Wow.
They want to put $500 million up per year to invite filmmakers to Texas to make films here. And they're offering, 22.5% incentive back to the filmmakers in rebate. So, but Katie, who I'm talking about for Dallas, the Dallas Film Commissioner, she wants to have a separate fund that's like $1 million or $2 million private fund where they grant like $100,000, $200,000 to indie filmmakers to shoot in Dallas County. So that's separate of the whole Texas thing.
Wow.
So that's pretty cool.
Wow.
And they've done the studies. I think it was Fort Worth, with Taylor Sheridan doing all the shows, shooting like Lioness and 1923 and 1883 and all that. For every dollar spent, I'm pretty sure this was from Fort Worth. It's either Fort Worth or Atlanta. Every dollar spent, $6.20 came back to the economy. So every dollar spent to make the project, $6 came back. Because crews, people buying, mom and pops, everybody, I mean, it's a no-brainer, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's good incentive to create a film industry.
And this is all happening now.
It's all happening
And
now in
you're ready
Texas.
to rock because you'll be doing
Bro, I'm
this.
ready. I've got a couple films ready to go.
What a good
so,
time, right? For
Yeah.
good timing, yeah.
Yeah, great timing. So
Wow, man.
I'm excited.
Man, Jay, wow, man, I'm so impressed because besides the long time friendship, sometimes details of what we do are just with you. You know, it's like something that you deal with daily basis, and like you said, it even like best friends, brothers can go away years without talking and seeing. So a lot happened in a month.
Yeah.
Sometimes something happens in my day, and I was with the kids today, even at the end was with me, which is a very challenging thing for a man, right?
Yeah.
Being by yourself.
You just don't know what to do.
You're just not wired that way. Yeah. And then the day is over, and Katie is like probably curious of, how was it? And there is so much that happened in my head, because the whole time I'm a tent, I'm like, oh my God, the kid. So, and sometimes we don't talk about it. The day's over, next day, and we have to sit down, force kind of a situation, which is the launching of this podcast series, right? Even though we've been talking about this forever, but we never actually, in a professional matter, sat down and did it. But took this to learn so much, man.
No, it's
and there's so much more.
I mean, you guys.
It feels like we go another 5 hours.
It's crazy. You guys have some, and because you're in it, you don't realize, but you have such interesting relationships and clientele and friends that have a lot to say, and you have a really great outlet for it.
We start in the beginning talking about a person that influenced a whole generation, which is our generation, and it made us make a decision that changed our life, which is to do jiu-jitsu. And you talk about Royce Gracie.
Yeah.
And Royce Gracie, you know how crazy, the guy that we idolize, watching, wow. I want to be this guy. It's our best friend. I want our best friends.
When
right?
Royce comes for the podcast, I'm going to be here.
You're going to be here.
I'm going to sit right here.
I talked to him, he said I'm down.
Royce.
He said I'm down. We just have to take him to Hut. That's it.
Okay.
He already
Done.
said,
This is done.
Yeah, he already said, no, I'm down, man.
It's
And
done.
so, not in the opposite, not doubting what you said, but reinforcing what you said. Life presents us. We're so lucky in so many areas, including, and maybe mostly, relationships, right? I don't know what we did right in the other life or whatever, but we are gifted by amazing people.
For sure.
We gift by, wow, bro, we can, like you just said, we can put Royce Gracie here and talk to a guy that changed
a generation.
Change forever. Change what we love the most, martial arts, forever.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy that you're on board, because
Man, I'm happy to be here.
One thing, Eve, is that we mock, we make fun, we do all the crap that we do, but she was very busy, right? And maybe this is happening the right timing, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it is. I mean, I say this a lot
By
too.
the way, you just, not that long ago, you were still working in...
Yeah, I just started a business, my own company.
How many years now? 3?
No, July.
No, sorry.
Last year.
No, I was going to say working in California. I was going to say...
Oh, so when I worked for Synesis...
The country of California.
Yeah, I spent 4 or 5 years there, back and forth, half my time from Texas.
But when you
California.
finally...
I left
100%
there
Texas.
and...
It's recent, man.
Recent, yeah. 20.
It's after Tonic.
No, Tonic. I left the company. Yeah, after I was there for 22 years, the first employee of this company called.
Let's say
Synesis.
3 years.
Yeah, and then I went to work for 18 months or so for
Here?
a company, Camp Lucky, where I built a virtual
We
production
never talk
studio.
about that.
Yeah.
We need to touch that.
Okay.
What was that, and what was your vision? I know we don't like to put ourselves on that. Oh, I didn't see anything.
No. I mean, I saw a show called The Mandalorian, and I fell in love with this technology that they used,
Which is?
which is virtual production LED walls, right?
Okay.
Big, giant LED walls. And I wanted to do that. I was like, man, and I'll tell you this, I was lucky because I've been in the industry and been around every disruptor, meaning when technology changed, I was there. Like when standard definition went to high definition, I was part of changing news stations. CNN was one of them, to high def. Robert Rodriguez started shooting from film to high definition, so all digital. We mentioned this movie the other day, Collateral, which was the first digital film shot on a Viper camera, all digital, no film. So I was around this time, and then I went to HDR, which is high dynamic range imaging, 4K. These are all big disruptors in the industry. And then when I saw Mandalorian and learned about how they were doing some of these shots, like that's when I got involved in the LED walls. And then I told the guys at Cinesys, I think we should become the subject matter experts of this. It's going to be big. It's the next big thing. They drug their feet. I made some decisions after 22 years. They're still my friends. I'm still working with them today, doing what I said we should do, actually, for them, helping them. I went to Camp Lucky and built the first stage in Dallas, a big 52-foot by 16-foot tall LED wall.
We've been there
and
many times.
I ran that one, and then after 18 months, I decided I want to do my own.
Okay.
Partnered up with a company, AMS Picture Studios, which is, like, in my opinion, like, you guys have to come visit there, man. It's unbelievable place.
Still downtown Dallas?
No, it's in near Addison, the tollway in Frankfurt. Yeah, so it's actually closer for me from home.
Yeah.
I built a wall at Pepsi, Frito-Lay. So I built like 3 of these within the last 2 years. I'm building a 4th one. At the Southside Studios in Dallas. Now there's like 12 of these stages in Dallas, like in the DFW area. There's one massive one in Fort Worth, probably like a $10 million build. Wow, crazy, unbelievable.
And who's your main client? I mean, I can imagine a lot of use for that, but...
Yeah, like yesterday, the last 2 days, I worked with Emmett Smith, Jesse Palmer on a commercial for a product.
Commercial.
Yeah, commercial stuff right now, so mainly. Toyota, doing a lot of stuff with Toyota. I've got some stuff coming up this weekend with them. And whoever wants to shoot virtual production.
Basically, for instance, I want to show a Toyota on a mountain. I can do.
We could do on the studio. Yeah, that's what's cool. So we're actually, on this one, we're doing Toyota in Manhattan. So it'll be a car that's featured inside in Manhattan, with all the cities, right, without going to Manhattan, closing roads. And then we'll do a little bit in Brooklyn. So we've got this full 3D scene inside of Unreal Engine. That's Brooklyn and New York. And we're going to do some driving stuff where it looks like they're driving. Mm-hmm. Like, it's all in the studio, though.
And those scenes come from where, Jay?
We build them.
You have to build those.
There is a marketplace that people build and you can buy, and they call it kit bashing, where you can put a bunch of stuff together. Cool. So, yeah. It's kind of cool. I mean, it's like you could have people that are 3D artists anywhere in the world building and selling their stuff on a marketplace that you buy and you use. So,
open source.
Yeah, it's a bit of open source. So.
That's so cool.
Dairy Queen, I'm doing some stuff with Dairy Queen soon. Like all the Dairy Queen commercials you see here on the stage, which is kind of, if you watch them, you're like, what? That's on a stage? Wow. But yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So.
Wow, man.
Thank you.
A man with multiple features and branches, and it's always exciting. I don't know what you think about Ives, but it's always like exciting too. My dad always had a thing, right? Don't mind telling people what you do or who you are, you know. It's always best to just keep surprising them, you know. So it's like knowing Jason for so long, having so many thousands of hours of conversations, and so many was new tonight talking with you for me. And it's bringing back to us, right? Bring back to me, myself. It's like man, that's cool, man. I should be doing more. I should be,
You guys are doing a lot, trust me. I see you guys.
But it's man, it's contagious. The brotherhood, the virtuous brotherhood. It's about how I honor my brother, how I do more.
Yeah.
When you ask me, I want to tell you that I'm doing stuff. And let's do stuff together.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
With that said, I will demand you to be part of this now. So, and you as a responsible grow up man, I hope you'll be here.
I'll tell you, I will be here for some of these, especially when Hoist is here. But I definitely have some guys I'd love for you guys to talk with. Victor would be one. Avila about Agent Under Fire. Incredible story. Derek Presley might be interesting as a writer to talk about some of the movie stuff. And there's a lot of stuff we could unpack behind the scenes that could be quite funny about some of the films. But, you guys are so connected with some of the greatest humans, even people I've met that you've introduced me to in passing, like at SHOT Show or whatever, that people need to hear the stories. So.
Yeah, but also, Jay, just us three, right? Talking about random stuff. Yeah. It's always cool.
It's amazing.
Because we've been together to a lot of stuff, and that's cool.
It's amazing, I always love being with you guys, so thank you for having me.
Thank you, brother.
This is probably just the beginning of many great podcasts that are going to come out of here. So.
All right, let's
if you don't abandon us, it will.
I won't abandon.
But I'll tell you this, mainly, if Mr. Eduardo over there doesn't
that's what we really got to worry about.
Man, when it's going to be just me and Tony, that's going to be tough.
No, that's not going to happen.
So, it won't happen. I'll step in. I'll be the man behind the curtain, too.
My brother, thank you, my man. Thank you, brother.
Love you guys.
Thank you, Jason.
Love you,
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.